You're listening to Jump on the Bat-Wagon, hosted by the Watchtower Database. Visit WDB on YouTube for video essays, timelines, fan theories, and much more from the DC animated universe. And now, please enjoy the show.
T-pose.
It has begun.
We all do T-pose.
Yep.
For
there it is.
Tiptapricot. Ow!
Oh, sorry.
That was a bad one.
Tip.
Okay.
It's more like tip slapricot,
Tip-
you know?
The puns start.
I have
so
the
very
buttons.
pleased.
Yeah.
You do have the buttons.
We're here with Michael, Tiptapricot, Apricot, Tiptapricot, whatever.
Hello, listener.
You say hello to Dylan specifically.
Hi, Dylan.
We wish Dylan was here instead.
He's only
Instead of Brian. Jesus.
He's in the
Finish
closet,
fucking
right?
Sentence. Yeah, no, he's always outside in the car.
Hold on, I'm going to call him really quick.
Immediately horrified.
Well, I'm one of his,
Acolytes.
hive mind bodies.
That's right.
So I guess Dylan is here.
We're like the
he's
Borg.
in here in my mind.
Dylan's always within us.
What
Inside us.
color?
What color is
What?
Dylan?
What color are Dylan's eyes?
I don't know. Dreamy.mp3.
Beautiful.
Are you looking up a picture of Dylan?
No, why would I do that?
I don't know.
Dylan,
to
show
answer
us
the
your
question
eyes.
You just asked.
Stare into the camera and we'll totally see it.
Okay, Dylan, this is kind of putting you on the spot, but can you send a voice memo back and let us know what color your eyes are? Thanks.
You doing that on Instagram?
No.
No. That's where I know him. He only
Listener,
exists in the internet to me.
I know him from the real world. Well,
I feel like a moderator in an argument right
Yes.
you are the
Can you
moderator.
please ask us political questions?
now. Brian, what would be your answer to immigration in this day and age?
I think the fact
Welcome
that
back
we put
to Jump on
arbitrary
the Bat-Wagon.
borders
This
over
is
pieces of
episode
land is the
153.
stupidest thing we've done in a long time. Hi.
Hi.
Look, we come here for the facts, such as I'm James from the Watchtower Database YouTube channel.
I'm Tiptapricot from Big Bus.
I don't know who I am anymore.
Oh, man. That was a perfect and I'm Brian opening for you.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't do perfect, do we?
No, we
You're
don't.
I always
tall.
have to interject it. I know.
I'm here to show my good buddy
And I'm
Brian. Jesus Christ. Turn him way the fuck up. The entire
back if I have to
DC
yell.
animated universe from start to finish in the controversial Airdate order. I've skipped for the very first time. Let me start this over. I'm James from the Watchtower. For the first time, controversial Airdate order. So he may view these shows the way human beings experienced them in the far gone days of the 1900s.
Which I
you don't
never
know anything
did.
about that.
I never did that.
You weren't there, man.
I wasn't there for any of this. I was born after all of it happened.
Me too.
Except for something. Most of it.
You got 2
Except for
years
some
of
of
it,
them.
but you wouldn't have been watching it.
No.
Much like I wasn't watching B-Test when it was happening.
Hey. I went through like 30-something years of not watching it, so I was there for
sounds-
all
You were
of
there
it.
for all of it.
All of it.
And then some. You were there for fucking Super Friends, man.
No.
He was there for Jesus friends
When was
too.
Super Friends?
I think it ended in 86.
Fuck off.
Let me Google that.
I'm
and tell
Googling
me.
it.
Yeah.
I experienced
moment,
Super
please.
Friends, but it was on like VHS tape.
One moment, please.
Yes. I experienced Super Friends on Boomerang
1973.
2.
Where do I find that?
One moment, please.
The Googling.
It just says release. Oh,
One moment,
cancellation.
please.
Concluded August 24th, 1974.
No, okay. You're looking at the original show. There's like 6 shows.
Okay,
Well,
you
he
find
doesn't
it. You
know
You know what
that.
to type in.
He doesn't know shows.
Super Friends.
He's
I
never
think
watched
they'll-
TV in his life.
I think
What is
Gal-
a television?
Galactic Guardians.
listening
I think
to the
1985
talkies.
is when that started. Is the last show. So
damn it.
you were alive. You were alive. That's
I
what
hate
my.
this.
That's my
I'm
whole
sorry
point.
that you were alive, Brian.
In
Me too.
1985. Yeah, that
I didn't
sucks.
choose this.
Why did you do that?
I
Why were
didn't.
you born?
I don't know.
We've lost track at this point.
This is going to be an episode for sure.
It sure is. Because today we're watching the new Batman Adventures episode, Mad Love.
Oh, that's right.
And your prediction last time was that
Sad love.
This was sad love between Nightwing and Batgirl.
Oh.
yeah.
They're gonna like break up or something, or get together and have sad love.
Yeah.
I don't know. what that means, but
I can tell you.
at the time of this recording,
Fuck.
At 12:22 p.m.
that's why we have Tiptapricot. New Batman Adventures is streaming on Max.
Where's Max?
Max.
Do you want me to call them?
Yeah. Caca.
They barked at me a whole ton when I came in here, and then Max wanted me to pet his head a whole ton.
There's Max. There's Rose. Oh, and there's a Bub's bark. Bubba,
We
give us a
didn't
room.
ask for you.
What a good boy. Okay, so
And
Max,
available on DVD and Blu-ray.
my other dog,
That's the one right there. And if you'd like to follow along, you can head over to
right there.
bit.ly/watch
He's
DCAU.
doing things.
The link's in the show notes. He's just doing things.
So we're not going to talk about it.
He's just listing all the air date order of the DCAU.
That's
for
what he's
you.
doing.
That's
What a
when he
hero.
says. That's what
Bubba,
he's like.
this is the
Next
air
up
date
is
order.
this episode.
What a good boy.
God damn! Now I know.
He's so fucking
You
cute.
spoiled everything for Brian. Why would you do that?
Bubba, why?
He sneezed.
He's so
Okay,
good.
Docs, can you stop clacking now? Can you unclack?
Here, we'll just pet him so he doesn't move.
Okay,
Oh,
this
but here
first
comes
aired.
Rose.
This first aired Saturday, January 16th, 1999 at 8:30 a.m. on Kids WB. Thoob.
I cannot not think of that. Like,
Well,
it's kind
this
of
is
like
kid,
a tick.
Well, it's Kids
Kidzoob.
Kidzoob?
Kidzoob.
No, it's not Kids the WB. It's just Kids.
Kidzoob.
Kids wubba. That's horrible.
Kids be wubbing
Why would you
back
say
then.
that?
Kids were wubbing back then. they couldn't
were.
stop. That's why we had all those like Dare shirts and stuff. Yeah. Keep them from wubbing.
Oh, Nancy.
This aired directly after our last episode, Absolute Power.
Oh God.
Aired number 24 and produced number 21.
This is
The
close.
final aired episode of the new Batman Adventures. And so essentially the final Batman the Animated Series episode, and you never get to watch this show ever again in your life because you're not allowed to watch anything that we've already watched. That's the rule.
Weird rule, but yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Deal.
It's too bad that it's the opposite of what I said.
I have a handful of dog head right now.
Yeah, you do. his like cheek and neck area is so gushy too. It's
He's doing the lie down.
grab.
The story is by Paul Dini and
Yeah.
Bruce Timm.
Okay.
The writer is Paul Dini.
Okay.
The director is Butch Lukic.
Okay.
The music is Shirley Walker. The animation is Coco Dong Yang. Hey, they've been fine.
They've been good.
They've been
Fine.
They've
We'll
been
get them fine.
That's all the stuff I say. Now we do the push-up part. Head over to the link in the description to send us a Yoppie beverage and support the show, and we'll give you a shout out in an upcoming episode.
Just gonna shout.
We'll also plug your shit. We'll do a push-up for every $1. Like yummy shit.
Yummy, yummy, yummy,
We'll do a
Yoppie
push-up
Bev.
for every $1 to send us coffee for our health and your entertainment.
Yeah.
Today's Yoppie Bevs come to us from, I had it open a second ago, and goddammit, I closed it.
Partially from
Holy
me. I
shit.
brought a Gatorade.
Yeah,
for
you
James,
did. Thank
Yeah.
you.
But
It'll be very nice.
I
to
didn't
be
actually
hydrated.
pay money to them, so
Oh, you stole
It's
it?
the
You
same
just
thing.
left?
yeah,
walked
actually, I
out.
stole
It's a
money.
donation.
Yeah.
It's a tax write-offable donation. What's the word?
It's a donation to me.
deductible.
Deductible.
Tax write-offable. It's all one word. They come
I'm an
from Kevin
adult.
McGarvey, who bought 7 Yoppie Bevs.
Oh shit.
Which is
35?
35 push-ups. Thanks again, guys. Enjoy these Yoppie Bevs. If you could plug my wife's tarot business, sailor.tarot.magic on Instagram, that would be much appreciated.
Dude,
Okay,
my
hold
my
on.
dad loves tarot cards.
You're gonna have to. I'm using my like 5 minutes of Instagram
Yeah.
time. What is it? Sailor?
Sailor.tarot.magic.
One moment, please.
Oh, it put a space in there.
Why am I on the Virality Instagram?
Oh, I found it.
Well,
Hell yeah.
I'm hitting follow. I'm supporting.
I'll jump back onto that.
This is
Lovely
cool.
hair.
Thank you, Kevin. I want to do 35 push-ups
I
now somewhere.
can do push-ups for tarot. That's
Push-ups for tarot.
I'm joining in. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get ripped.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'm small enough. I can do it like right next to the table. So.
1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 3, 6, 7, 8, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, take a break. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 29, 31, 32, 33, 34, 25, 30. I have to do 5 more still.
Well, I'm good. How's everybody else feeling?
3, 4.
I haven't been in a PE class for 2 years.
5.
Oh.
So.
Floor hurts my wrists.
Do you want push-up twisty thingies?
Oh, I have those.
The room is really small, by the way, listener. Am I the first? No, Joe's been in here.
No.
No?
Rob's been in here.
Rob's
but we
been in
did
here.
push-ups in the living room and outside and like 3 other places because there were 100 push-ups.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't usually do them in the room. I usually just go like there. Or I'll go like feet in the hallway, arms in here.
Yeah, they're really tall.
And there's no way to do it. It's just...
The room is maybe like 1 1/3 James and Brian's long.
Yeah.
So,
And it's mostly this desk,
yes.
which is this big because of all the framing and
This
stuff
big,
I do. But,
listener.
like,
Look how this big is.
If this
This
is your
big.
first episode listening, we've said before, and I just said it before we started recording, that Brian has hit his shoulder on the roof of an airplane before.
Yes.
That's how he is?
Yeah.
My
he's like-
feet are not touching the floor right now.
Yeah. You can fit about
I mean, we
7
can like
Tiptapricots in
change
this room.
that if you.
I don't care.
Oh, okay.
I get to shake my legs yippee yahoo. It's fine.
I want to shake my legs. Yahoo.
Let's shake our eyeballs yippee yahoo on the TV right now with Mad Love.
That's weird, Jamie. Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Go away, I'm busy.
Oh, come on, Puddin'. Don't you want to rev up your Harley? Vroom, vroom. Oh, sweetie, I got the whoopee cushion.
Batman was right. That setup today was corny. Old hat. It's time I capped off our feud with his ultimate humiliation. Followed by his deliciously delirious death.
Why don't you just shoot him?
Just shoot him? Know this, my sweet. The death of Batman must be nothing less than a masterpiece. The triumph of my sheer comic genius over his ridiculous mask and gadgets. Well, hold the phone. Here's one I forgot. The death of 100 smiles. I'll lure Batman to a secret lair, then bang! Plop him into my specially prepared piranha tank. The last thing he'll see are all those beautiful, hungry smiles as they rip him to... Oh, wait. Now I remember why I scrapped this plan. Piranhas can't smile. Even my own Joker toxin couldn't get a giggle out of them.
I know how to make some smiles, Puddin'. Face it, Harl, this stinks. You're a certified nutso wanted in 12 states and hopelessly in love with a psychopathic clown. At what point did my life go Looney Tunes? How did it happen? Who's to blame? Batman, that's who. Batman! It's always been Batman! Ruining my life! Spoiling my fun! Coming between me and my puddin' from the very beginning.
I think one of the weirdest parts is with it just being an audio format, my usual branding of the apricot PFP is just not present most of the time.
You just have
I'm
to
imagining
really-
you as an apricot
well,
the whole
that's
time.
I appreciate
I'm only
that.
seeing you as an apricot? Jamie, what are you
Oh
talking
yeah,
about?
so guys,
Oh,
actually
there's a
in
person
person.
here, yeah.
No, there's not.
Anyways,
Anyways, well, we have the guest. The guest has to do the synopsis. Ha 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 ha
can
ha.
I I'll sing along.
Okay.
Synyap. If you're wondering, synyap.
Kind of ruining it, dog.
What you just watched, synyap. Take a listen to the
Brian is trying
synopsis.
really hard
The
not to
short
laugh.
summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
What happened? What just happened?
He came running in with Rose, and I was like trying to close the door to be like, dogs don't come in here, and he was looking back, so he ran the side of his head full force into the door, and there was a big thump.
Right. Do you want to close the door? Or what do you want to do?
Well, I think they're
Dogs
good.
are just
I think
going to
they're
do
good
dogs.
now, but
All right.
Thank you for the real life synopsis, Brian.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Brian.
What happens in this episode? Mad love.
Mad love. Okay, it starts out with Gordon is getting a dental exam for the police because I guess the police have to have good teeth to
Apparently, yeah.
work on the force.
That's the most important thing about being a cop.
Well, he's saying it's like a physical checkup, like his job relies on him
demands it.
passing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta have
yeah.
good molars to shoot a gun. And then it turns out that
I have a cavity. My aim is off. That's why.
yeah, I got a hole in my tooth, but the hole is supposed to be in your head. And unfortunately, the really ominous dentist's office that's like super shadowy and everything actually has Mark Hamill doing a very normal person
Voice. Yeah.
but his hair gave him away. It was a really strong pomade. It's actually the Joker who wants to lobotomize Gordon or something, put a drill in his head, and Harley's there in a sexy little nurse outfit, which is just a white dress.
It was like a
Dental
long
assistant.
T-shirt.
Yeah. That's what happens when I put on
Pajamas,
sizes too big for me.
Big shirt.
And then it doesn't work out because Batman comes to save the day. Harley almost knocks him out with some gas of some sort.
I like that. That I'm sure you saw in the Discord. People talking
my
about
God.
that fucking Harley Quinn fart comic. Did I send you a picture of that?
Brian, there's a solicitation for a Harley Quinn Fartacular, Silent But Deadly, which is going to be a fart-themed scratch and sniff comic focused on farting.
It's like full fart fetish Harley Quinn comic.
And he's
See
leaving
you
the
later.
room, everybody.
Yeah. Like-
Yay. And it looks like it might be a series because they're saying it's like #1, but I don't know if that's
God.
just for marketing. I don't know why. Anyways, I looked at James when that happened in the episode.
Like, isn't that a gasser? And I was like, I'm not going to say anything.
I was thinking it too. It's not great. But so Batman gets out of there, throws a grenade out the window. It destroys some innocent person on the sidewalk, probably.
Brian, I want to see the old lady who caught that in her purse.
Well, maybe she caught it in her car after parking in the wrong spot.
Oh yeah.
And so Joker gets pissed at Harley also during that interaction for making a joke that he didn't get to make, and then they escape. He's really pissed because he's like, yeah, I gotta fuck up Batman, but it's gotta be funny. But I can't think well, so I don't know what to do there. And Harley's trying to seduce him. She's in another sexy long shirt that's red this time.
Yeah.
And she's like crawling all over the table. She's like, you want to rev up your Harley? Let's have
Brian
silly sex.
Looked at me. Yeah, let's have silly sex.
It was the part where she mentioned the whoopee cushion. I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, you guys.
More
'Cause the double
farts.
Yeah,
entendre
more
there.
farts. Yeah.
I was
Well, I was
also
thinking like whoopee, like
Yeah,
make,
oh,
and then
yeah.
whoopee cushion. Like, is it like one of those? Never mind.
I was also really distracted in that scene because with the style, her feet just looked like Barbie feet.
Yeah.
They were
with,
just like
two
smooth
lines in them for the toes.
Or they were just completely smooth. I'm like, why are you?
Yeah.
It looks weird. Anyways, but he's not interested in it because his only focus is murder and laughter, and he doesn't care about her at all.
Yeah.
And so he throws her outside, and she probably gets a really bad scrape on her chin by zooming across the freaking asphalt.
She like
face planted.
She face planted. If that was asphalt, she like ripped it up with her teeth.
Or, yeah, it might have
even if
been
was
dust,
dirt or
but- yeah,
gravel,
but, like,
it was.
Yeah.
Pretty bad. And then she's
lot.
like, man, he doesn't love me and it's all Batman's fault. And then we get a flashback of Harley Quinn's origin story where we find out that she's
Brian
been
had
putting
a
on an
chance.
accent the whole time.
I mean, you never have known.
You never
to
would have
guess
known the
that.
last
Yeah,
episode being an origin story. I mean, I should have for like
Yeah.
the poetic symmetry of it, but I didn't.
Hey, we've been through all of Batman now, and there was not a single Batman's origin story episode. So there you go.
You'll never know what happens to him.
Brian's gonna light himself on fire now.
And so we get to go see when Harley used to be a psychiatrist, therapist, doctor, question mark?
It's
big
back
question
and forth
mark.
between psychiatrist and psychologist.
They're not the same
They're not the
thing.
same, but it swaps.
So she goes to Arkham. She seems to have kind of a background of being like a career woman, maybe more interested in the sensationalism of brain stuff than like actually helping people. Because she seems to be interested in finding some really strong, interesting stories to like make a whole marketing whatever off of. And she takes an interest in the Joker because he's like, your name could totally theme to my stuff. Oh my goodness. It's almost like that was how you were made.
You were written by Paul Dini to be the name to this. Yeah, I've heard it before. Paul Dini, I got it.
God put me on this earth with this joke in my name, and it's what I've had to live with.
Yeah.
But she takes an interest in him because he's like, I could tell you secrets. And so she starts having sessions with him where he talks about his abusive father and never being able to make him laugh and, getting beat up all the time. And it's so sad. And she laughs, but then she hears about, the abuse. And she's like, oh God, he's so pathetic. My wet cat of a man. And she kind of narrates about how she got really obsessed with him and sympathetic to him and thinks that Batman is just sort of like the continuing of that abuse and blah, 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 blah. We see that obsession kind of
flashback
continues.
within the flashback.
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
Joker's origin story. Harley Quinn's origin story.
And at one point, she's on the psychiatrist's couch with him because she's totally gone off her rocker and is now getting psychoanalyzed by him. And then eventually, when Batman beats Joker up, he doesn't beat himself up.
I mean, Joker really does beat himself, you know.
to
Harley
thoughts of her.
Yeah. The
anyways,
whoopee cushion.
But when Batman brings him back to Arkham pretty beat up, which is also, I think, one of the main times we've seen mentioned that Joker genuinely kills people.
Yeah.
Because the newspaper said like body count piling up, and there was like a shot of like a bunch of silhouetted bodies on the ground.
I for whatever reason didn't read that in the newspaper. I was looking at something
He's
else.
allowed to kill people, but only off screen.
Yeah. Okay,
But she basically decides
smiley
to
bodies.
go to a joke store, grab her Party
A
City
full Harley Quinn outfit that's already there.
Yeah, next to a Superman outfit with the logo upside
it's like
down.
a weird like play on
Time
Superman. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't quite work.
Maybe he's based off of whatever character that is.
Martha Kent was like, I went to Party City and saw this, and I thought that's a good idea. Yeah,
Well, maybe his outfit is from Party City.
yeah.
That's why it breaks all the time.
Yeah.
Did you hear Party
Burns
City is
away.
no more?
No, I didn't really go anyway.
I've never been. I just knew.
Spirit Halloween.
Anyways, she dresses up as Harley Quinn, is finally Harley Quinn, puts on an accent that is not how she normally talks. So I guess she's doing an Ariana Grande thing.
Yeah,
faking her
yeah.
accent.
To be fair, so am I.
Well, yeah.
And breaks Joker out, and then that's how they fell in love.
I did think that was interesting the way she did that, where she didn't have that accent all the time.
I
because
know.
even in episodes where she's like, I'm sane and I'm leaving Arkham, she's still walking around talking like this. I'm Harley Quinn. And I'm like, okay, why? Why are you doing that?
I know this episode was like really pointed because it's like you hear her normal voice and it doesn't have any twang to it. It's very flat, and I'm like, why?
What's like jokery about that voice? What made you decide to do that?
New Yorkers are silly.
There's also like a Harley Quinn. Well, there's a Harley Quinn Mad Love like novel these days that's super long and like adds a million things to this story, and it has all the stuff of her childhood and stuff. And she comes from like a Jewish family that all have this accent. They all speak like this in the book. So then it's like, whoa, what's real? I don't know.
I mean, I guess it could be like when she grew up, she decided to like go for a more basic accent to be more professional.
Hello,
and then,
I am American man.
Oh,
Brian
when she
is
was
Harley
able, when she was able to like let go and let loose, she was able to like go back to her true self or something.
Could be.
That's the best example.
Don't play psychoanalyst with me.
That honestly, I think it's a fair assumption. I also realized I also left my phone in the other room with maybe have a Dylan Pollock voice message waiting.
Oh my God, we should.
I'll just
Okay,
do
right.
the synopsis really slowly, and you run and grab it. He's going, guys. Okay.
I forgot you were in the middle of the synopsis.
Yeah,
honestly, I was like,
could
we're
tell.
just doing the podcast now.
Anyways, we come back out of the we come back out of the flashback. She's like, I know what I have to do. I've got to beat Batman to get Joker to love me. So she takes the plan that he was thinking of earlier, figures out a way to do it, plays that she's gone sane to Batman to actually capture him, which again, she drops her accent when she does that. So
Who knows?
I don't know, man. But she actually beats him up, hangs him upside down over a bunch of piranhas so that he thinks that they're smiling from that angle. And then she's going to kill him, and he's like, Harley, you're dumb. I've got a bomb to drop on you. Joker's been playing you this whole time. He's given a bunch of different stories of his sad sack past to a bunch of different people, and he was just doing it to manipulate you. And she freaks out after also hearing him laugh in a very
like
good Kevin Conroy voice acting moment. Excuse me, sorry.
So good, I threw up.
I cannot drink carbonated beverages without burping.
Most of us can.
Yes. And so he ends up getting into her head about it and being like, you can't kill me. He'll never believe you. So she calls him. He comes over. He's like, why did you do my plan? It's got to be my thing. It's my thing to kill Batman. It's my thing. And he is a jerk to her. Jerk is a bit of a, you know, he's an abusive partner and pushes her out a window after yelling at her and degrading her and stuff. And she lands in the trash.
I think Brian might have thought she was going to die in that scene.
They held
it.
So long.
It was a dramatic shot with like the glass sound echoing and stuff. It was really good. Then Joker's like, oh, we'll just bring you down anyway. And almost shoots him, which Harley suggested at the start,
yeah.
which
Well,
I think
I'll
was
just
an
do
interesting
that.
of like he took her idea anyway.
Yeah.
Batman escapes, Joker escapes. They have a little thing on the train, and he's like, "She got closer than you ever did, bitch." And
I'm sorry I do this.
No, you're
I
good.
just love Batman up on the roof, like, he fell to his death. He's
Why did
He's
he
just
jump off
faking
the
it.
roof
I don't know. He jumps
to, like,
so far,
3 blocks,
yeah, and then
like horizontally.
pretends to fall, and then I made you look. And then Batman's clearly still like looking at him over the railing. And then in the next shot, he's just teleported behind the Joker. It was a very good Batman thing. But,
and then he kicks Joker into a smokestack. It cuts to usual TV thing of, well, he might be dead, he might not be. We don't know, man. And then Harley's being wheeled in, no accent again, to Arkham. She's beat up, but in a wheelchair. They put her in a bed. She's like, I'm done with all this. You know, I'm going to be sane. And he's just such a horrible, meanie, awesome. Oh, awesome. I see a little flower next to my bed that says, get well soon from Mr. J. And she's like, my angel. And the cycle continues. That was a long synopsis. It's sometimes kind of long.
60 long synopses.
To be fair, this was a very involved episode. To summarize it, you have to get into a lot of the nitty and gritty.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Thank you. It's
Thanks.
good.
Oh my
It's
God.
good.
My first synopsis.
You did well. You did well.
I love any time I don't have to do them, honestly.
I mean, there's sometimes
listens.
like with the guest episodes, I want to hear like how you describe it.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I want to hear like your thought process for going through it, but I know it's a tradition.
Okay, Brian,
Okay,
can you
you
give
did
us
7
synopsis
seconds.
too?
Yeah.
Second
What did you
synopsis.
think about it?
Okay, so like
Well, I
flash
mean,
forward.
Official.
Oh, so
Official synopsis. Yeah, fast forward. Yeah. Harley recounts how she became involved with the Joker and is determined to prove that she is still useful by trapping Batman. The end.
yeah, that's actually a pretty good synopsis.
Yeah, why didn't you just say that?
Well, because I was trying to describe it, not give an elevator pitch.
For Kimmy's sake.
Oh yeah,
Obviously.
Yeah. I have thought about that a few times where I'm like, when people listen to this who aren't watching through the show, because I know multiple people are doing that.
Yeah.
Do they understand like anything when we're like, when this shot happened? Like, is that entertaining for them? But then I remember how we do the synopsis. We describe the entire episode, so they're caught up. So if they're like, "Oh, I believe you," that this
what was
We
the
even
one-
went in depth on the fart gas.
yeah, we
So-
sure did. This thing that happened in the episode.
What was the one that like it was literally the two word
Oh yeah,
synopsis?
It was the Firefly. It was
Nobody
Torch
cares.
song. Yeah, it was. I just don't want a synopsis. Nobody cares. It was after this like humongous one before that. It was very nice. Yeah. What it was? What do you like? You like it?
I loved it. Yeah.
It was very good.
It was very good. There's a lot of like painful moments, but I think in a good way.
Also,
Yeah.
I don't know if I originally, when I was watching, well, I guess you couldn't tell us. Is this the last produced episode of?
No.
Okay.
Judgment Day was the last produced.
Then yeah,
one.
this is like a really good finale.
Yeah, I
the
I
series.
think so. I think if it had been Judgment Day, it would have been like I had mentioned that watching it was like, oh, this kind of feels finale-ish because there's all these different villains and he's killing them off and blah blah blah. But this one does have a lot more.
Spiritually,
Yeah.
It deals a
feels
lot
more.
It kind of wraps up that Harley was introduced in BTAS, and so it gives
Yeah.
her a focus at the end here. But it also like focuses in on like the Joker Batman rivalry, which I feel like is that really central vibe.
The main thing, or
And
whatever.
it's just really well executed. It's good pacing. So.
I think especially with the like you could just kind of feel it coming from the beginning where it was like Batman was like kind of getting on Joker's head, being like, "You're sloppy." Like at the beginning, like like your clothes, it's too softball.
After all these things we've done in the
Yeah.
past, you're bad now.
and like that is, I think, absolutely the way to like one up the Joker, just make him feel like he's not
useless. And
enough or whatever.
Joker's usefulness.
Joker's
low.
funniness scale.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. Would you laugh?
I give him 2 fake teeth out of 10.
Well, and it's funny too because like I feel like when they were doing the whole like lay on the psychiatrist's couch kind of thing with
That was kind of
Harley,
funny.
I also didn't believe it though. Like I was watching him do the thing, and I was like, "Man, that sounds good," but like that also just sounds
You're
like
just
a yarn
being
that someone-
manipulating.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's sort of part of it. It's like it's supposed to sound sincere to her from her point of view.
the audience
But it's not
knows
like he's
fucking with her,
legitimately. He sort of it's sort of like the making her believe what he wants her to
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think this episode hits a lot harder once you've been in relationships because like when you watch this as a child, you're like, oh, interesting. I'm learning how Harley Quinn became Harley Quinn. The end. Cool.
Yeah,
and then now, like, there's so many, like, especially the big one obviously is near the end where Batman's telling her like, oh, what did he tell you about this thing at the ice rink? And then it cuts to that like
circus.
beautiful, she's like soloed in the background. There's no floor. She's just like all by herself. And she's just, he told me it was the circus. And then you went like, fuck, or whatever. Because it's just so like, oh my God.
Bravo to the voice acting this episode too. Like, good Lord.
Yeah. But I think also you're right. Like as an adult, I think it has to hit different, especially like if you've been in a manipulative, toxic relationship. Or if you've been the person being toxic in a relationship, which like take some lessons, folks.
Yeah, a lot of like hot topic-y teenagers are like, this Harley Quinn and the Joker, my fantasy relationship's so cool and so hot.
No.
What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Please don't see this as something to aspire to.
Not that it's only what it is today, but I feel like it has been sort of mixed up in some current stuff just because they
like Suicide Squad
movie. One of the main gripes I have with Harley and Joker on like a very broad scale is they always bring them back together to like be the focused relationship, and it's like, can we move on?
Well, that's something that's been happening a lot lately
with Harley.
And Harley related comics recently. They do either a lot of more like Poison Ivy relationship stuff, or they just have her kind of on her own, like do it, like realizing like, oh, that was a terrible part of my life. But there is always still some kind of like, but maybe I could make it work with him, like dangling on the end of it.
I think especially in like movie adaptations, it's because that's sort of like the baseline starting point, which is what a lot of status quo in movies is. They'll be like, they'll start off with like, we're going to focus on the Joker and Harley relationship. And it's like,
it's the Batman's parents dying in an alleyway thing.
Like we've seen this before, you know?
I get that people like see the like superficial, like, oh look, Mr. J, and they're all smiles or whatever, and it's like, yeah, they're edgy and cool and they're totally in love, but if you don't know the rest of it,
and this is like the first Harley Quinn like origin, like she's from this show, like this is based on a comic that Paul Dini and Bruce Timm made. That is like the very first time we saw this and all this stuff. And the episode is more or less like shot for shot, panel for panel from the comic. It's missing a few things that I'll bring up, but
when they did the Avatar flashback, I was very confused for a bit there because it just didn't like that art didn't translate to me at all.
It's blue lighting,
dark
shadows.
Yeah, I get in like most of the stone stuff was blue and like it was all the yellow lights, but it was like the yellow light didn't cascade, and so their skin tone
it's because it's meant to look like a stark contrast color wise.
Yeah,
Brian, watch cartoons better.
Didn't I can appreciate like impactful visuals and whatnot, unless it's a fucking swinging light bulb that changes someone completely.
I mentioned this briefly when watching, but the colors are so nice on this TV. Like they're so. I was like sitting there and I was like, it's vibrant.
Customization of your TV was changing the white balance too. It was like way too blue yesterday. But
sweet.
Anyway, I made your TV better for you. I turned off motion smoothing.
Yeah,
you're welcome. You won't.
I can't believe we turned it off and it didn't turn it off, and we had to turn on the ability to turn it off. To turn it off.
Turn off on the setting that turned it on.
Technology.
Turn on the off setting. Is what you had to do.
But, so I was getting on with the whole Avatar thing, which I still stand by. Not my favorite visual gig in the
Brian hates blue.
I do. I'm very blue.
He's
I'm wearing all black today. My socks are even
you
black.
have like a hint of blue on your headphones.
Fuck.
Get rid of that shit. Sharpie that off.
Anyway, I didn't know that was a flashback. And especially where like Poison Ivy looks over at Harley and kind of has like a curious look. I was like, oh, Harley's
even after
coming
I
in.
said Harley Quinn's origin story, you thought I was just joking.
I thought you were just joking. Why?
Okay,
how would I know, man? How the fuck would I know?
I don't know.
They're blue, and that means it's the past.
No,
but
the her going, how did it all happen, and then fading into a thing means it's the past.
It just didn't. That just didn't. It didn't read.
Sure.
But yeah, like her walking down the hallway, and I was like, oh, she's like here to break Joker out. What happened? Like, what is this time? And then when I finally realized that it was like, oh no, like this is sincere. Like it took me a good like 30, 45 seconds. And maybe
well, you didn't recognize her accent, you know.
I didn't recognize her accent. She's going by the name, and I didn't know that was. Maybe I knew, and I forgot that was like her actual name.
It's like if Bruce's name was like Battus Mannington. Or
yeah.
It's like, man, I wonder.
I think that's the subtitle.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is the subtitle. Holy
I'll have to get your opinion on the spelling, but
Well, yes,
we'll work it out. God, yeah. Well, yeah, it is an interesting. She said her name one time in B
Well,
test.
they did a Joe Kerr thing too.
Yeah, in the
past,
start.
right?
Yeah, but in B test there was an episode where she shows up to Arkham to like break him out or something, and she's like, "Oh, I'm like a reporter or something. My name is Harleen Quinzel," and like all the Arkham guards and Bullock and everybody go like, "Yeah, it makes sense to me. Come on in." Instead of being like, "You mean the person that looks like you named your name that used to work here
And became Harley Quinn in public knowledge.
Know that?" Yeah.
Holy fucking shit!
Nobody ever. That's such a weird.
'Cause,
comment.
Have you done that in a timeline video
We
yet?
talked about it. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Like, it's public knowledge.
Yeah, everybody
not
would
like-
know this. Yeah,
She doesn't have
Yeah,
a secret
everybody.
identity.
yeah, everybody, Brian.
Jesus.
The other weird continuity thing that I'll just tailor to the people listening that they want to hear my zany autistic batsuit comments.
When I agree.
Is the flashback to her origin story. Batman's in his new Batman Adventures costume, but he should be in his B-Task costume.
Oh,
Much like with Old Wounds, we had this same problem.
yeah.
She's telling a story. It could be weird, and Joker still looks like weird Joker, eyeball Joker. So
that's
whatever.
also true.
Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't really matter.
Do I like it though?
Did you notice how her glasses don't have arms? They just are circles that sit on the
Well,
front
she
of her
doesn't seem
face.
to need them. She took them off after becoming Harley. She took off. She changed her
Balancing
accent.
them.
She changed her
Yeah,
eyes.
That's true. Yeah. Maybe she just puts contacts in now. I
Maybe
guess.
she's just Morpheus. Can
She
you
put
just
maybe
prove
she
that?
put them on just to like look more academic.
Wait,
Maybe. Yeah.
but what if she is Morpheus? Hold on. What if
From-
this?
What if
What if the DCAU only exists within the Matrix?
What if she's
and Morpheus
Morbius?
is playing Harley Quinn because he's got the bloop glasses?
Well, then she took
the blonde lady in the red dress that walks by.
Ah!
It's Harley Quinn. It's been Harley Quinn this whole time.
New video. Make one I can
The
watch.
old lady that catches the grenade in her purse.
It was
The
Neo.
dentist office.
No, it was the Oracle. Wait a
It was
minute.
Trinity.
Hold on.
Trinity was an old lady who
You
caught a
guys just
grenade.
listed almost every woman in that franchise.
All
We
two of
sure
them.
did.
No, there's some more.
There's
the one with the-
The
Belushi.
lady from
Monica
the
Belushi.
place. I haven't watched
anyway.
Matrix in a while.
CCH Pounder.
She's-
Does this
He was
make any
so
sense to
thrown
you?
off.
The name CCH Pounder. Have you heard
actress.
this
Oh, I
before?
don't know a lot of actors.
This is
Besides,
Well, I
this
guess
is
I
the
don't
actress
either.
that plays the character whose initials are AW. And we had her on a different episode. And
Amazing woman.
Yeah, he's like, fucking excuse me, what is her name? And it was like, that's not a real name. Or I'm just laughing about it the whole time. But
Fucking see, it's like
You'll get to
it's
hear
been
her
a
name a
month.
lot
It's
later.
been a month of this in podcast time,
Yeah.
but it's been 2 days
2
of me
days.
not being able to grasp that someone's name is CCH Pounder.
yeah, sorry about that.
Fuck.
I only know voice actors that are in all the same stuff that I watch. So.
Well, let's talk about the cast.
Oh,
it's very
what
short.
a segue!
Hey!
One moment, please.
It's fun. It's Kevin Conroy as Batman / Bruce Wayne. He wasn't Bruce Wayne in this episode.
Nope.
Mark Hamill as the Joker. Arlene
Slash
Sorkin
Mark
as
Hamill.
Harley Quinn.
I mean, he's
Yeah.
always Bruce Wayne under the mask. Well, no, sorry,
well.
he's Bat and Mannington. I forgot.
Yeah. Bob Hastings as Commissioner Gordon and Suzanne Stone as Dr. Joan Leland. That's
She
the
had a nice
entire
voice
cast.
too.
Yeah.
Even though she only said like a couple lines.
Wow, that was a small cast though.
That
Hey.
was everybody. But I also wonder who was voicing Summer Gleason at the end, because that definitely wasn't the normal voice on the TV. So it was one of the two women in this episode.
It was Jordan Blumen. He's uncredited.
Yeah, it's Jordan Blumen's girlfriend. Well, we also had something I'd never noticed until this time, I think. If I had, I don't remember noticing it before. The full final scene of her being pulled back into Arkham, every single like Arkham guy looks like the Joker.
Oh,
He's got like a
Yes.
pointy nose
Yes.
and
Yes.
jet black hair.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
like, that must be on purpose, where
Oh,
she's
yeah.
like stuck in her own head of like, oh, I'm just so over this guy, but he's everywhere around
I mean,
her.
before we've seen like they in just the earlier Arkham flashback,
Yeah.
they had different background characters. So
Yeah, there were a bunch of
it's got to
different
be.
people.
I mean, the
so,
animation
yeah.
was nice this episode too.
It was pretty good.
It was
Because
solid,
the Coco
yeah.
Dong Yang ones, they usually, I can tell when it swaps to the other
Mm-hmm.
animation company, like, this is stiffer and they don't look it right and all this stuff. This one, I think, must have been the good one of the two, like the whole time.
Well, I think also since they were taking direction from the comic, that like adapting certain like
it was
panels
just Bruce
and scenes.
Tim's panels as the storyboards.
That
essentially,
it sort of it helped. I mean, I'll talk about that in Keen Effects, but
I'll wait.
There's a lot of I know. Sometimes we want to talk. Well, Trivs, the story's based on Tim and Dini's comic book Mad Love, set in the BTS continuity, which won an Eisner Award for Best Single Story in 1994. When speaking of the then upcoming book, Paul Dini told Comic Scene magazine, "It's a story that we could never tell on the show. It's a little too sexy and a little too violent for the series. By the time of New Batman Adventures, they were able to adapt the story."
Yeah, because they were allowed
Fox
to have blood
Kids.
and guns.
Yeah, blood and guns and sexy Harley revving time and whoopee
This is
cushions.
like the third or fourth sexy Harley we've had in the past
she
couple
did
episodes.
the pie in the Creeper episode.
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God.
Want to try some of my pie? Want to rev up your Harley?
Have they ever actually had sex? For her
That's
to like
something I
keep
do
trying?
wonder because, like,
Joker's been romantic.
yeah, but they.
But has
they
he
had
been
a-
sexual?
Have we seen his dick?
Yeah, Brian,
no.
have you specifically
Yeah.
seen the Joker's
He
dick?
drops his pants in this episode. I didn't see it. He pulls them right back up.
You weren't looking close
Oh,
enough.
whoopsie. Before being adapted as an episode, Mad Love was pitched as a straight-to-video film. An Overstreet magazine Overstreet fan magazine number 4, Paul Dini said, "A lot of people have asked us, when are you going to make Mad Love as either an animated episode or a direct-to-video movie? We did think about it. We actually got some of the people in home video to look at it, but ultimately I don't think it's going to happen. And more importantly, Bruce, Tim, and I have cooled on it. Bruce had a very good point early on, which is, it is what it is. It's a book. Batman is a secondary player. It's book. It's not hip hop. Batman is a secondary player in this. When you're doing a made-for-video release, you want a story where Batman and Bruce Wayne are more integral to the plot. More of the attention is on him."
The more I
That-
hear about Bruce Timm, the less I like it.
Well, that's also interesting.
Well, it's
like
just what sells or whatever.
seeing how
yeah.
TNBA has played out too. Because we have like the Creeper episode wasn't really Batman focused. It was,
there's not
you
a
know,
lot of Batman. That was my chief complaint about people's complaint about. I don't know if you've watched Cape Crusader yet.
We have like 3 or 4 episodes left that we just
Okay.
haven't watched for
Okay.
several months.
Well, just in general, people are like, "Oh, this is a Batman show. There's not a lot of Batman in it." And we're like,
It's
"Yeah,
the
there's never
whole
any Batman."
universe,
Like,
bitch.
yeah, it's like he is a mysterious fella who shows up when he's needed.
It's also the name of the franchise. Like
I
he's
know,
in it,
yeah,
but there's
yeah.
also a whole lot of other characters.
Yeah, and I did not have that. I didn't have most issues with it that people did, but videos, whatever. When Gordon walks into the dental office, name on the door, Dr. J. Recco, an anagram of Joker. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I was trying to figure out what the connection was.
The Joker shares at least 3 things in common with the actor who voices him. He draws his plans with his left hand. Mark
my
Hamill is
God.
left-handed.
Whoa.
Wait. Can I add something to this that I think
Yes.
might be on there? When we watched the episode, I was like, why did they make a Star Wars reference?
Oh,
When he was
There
throwing
you
the
go.
grenade, because I'm like, that's
Another
not
one, yeah,
thematic.
may the
But that,
floss
oh,
be
it's
with
fucking
you.
loose.
Yeah.
Luke.
Yep.
That was hilarious. I was like, as lame as it is, probably my favorite part.
Yeah. And at the beginning of the episode, he plays a dentist. Mark Hamill met his wife in a dental office, apparently.
How?
I don't know.
They're just next to each other.
She
when
was
they're
trying to
both-
give him a
Is that like a
lobotomy with
HIPAA
a
violation?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in dentist
I've
office,
never
they have-
met my wife. What do you mean?
They have like pretty open little areas.
Yeah.
Where they just overhear
That's
each other
true.
talking
Yeah.
about how bad their teeth were.
Oh man, you might as well play the Joker. These are real bad. And then according to Paul Dini, the "May the Floss Be With You" was ad-libbed by Mark Hamill. They just
Oh,
threw
of
that
course
in.
it would
Yeah.
be. That makes sense.
While the on-screen adaptation adapts the comic issue near verbatim, there were a few minor changes, including Batman briefly explains Harley's life story before her employment at Arkham. She attended Gotham University on a gymnastics scholarship, which helps explain why she's all bouncy, circusy, planning to become a pop psychologist. The comic also showed that Harley seduced at least one of her professors to improve her grade, which is a very highly controversial Airdate order thing from this comic that people don't like. Which is, there's just a shot where she's like knocking on a professor's door, and then the next panel she's walking out holding an A+, and he's like, oh, boo, with a bunch of hearts above his head, like she fucked him or made out with him or whatever. And people are like, whoa, Harley shouldn't have done that. She got to get things. It was like, I agree, but also she's clearly like doing this not like a real thing. Like we talked
Yeah,
about.
I mean, I think it depends. Most of what I've seen discussed about is like whether people like seeing her as a genuine, like
if she started
smart in
off
her
for
field
realsies,
versus like some stuff where she's just in it for like the Batman show she does like a game show,
Right,
you
yeah.
know, and so it's not really the serious stuff, but in other stuff she's like, I actually know my shit.
Yeah.
So it depends on like how serious
if
you want to
she's
take
an I
her.
actually know my shit person, it makes sense. Yeah, she shouldn't do that. My shit person.
To plug.
Joker's line as he's tossed the grenade in Joker's lap wasn't "May the floss be with you," but watch those between meal snacks.
I'm glad he ad-libbed.
Oh God, the ad-lib is 1,000 times better.
It's slightly okay to me since he throws the grenade like into his dick, like he just lands right where his
that the
crotch
between
is.
meal
Yeah,
snacks
between
for
meal
you,
snacks.
James?
Yes, that's what else do you call it? The scene where Joker falls into a smokestack has Joker yelling "Not again" in the comic, which was absent in the episode. I don't know why he would say "not again."
He hates being
Because he's-
outsmoked.
Been,
Yeah.
like, chucked off the building.
Joker
Well, I
says
guess
only
he dove
one
off the
person has
building.
outsmoked him. The smokestack.
When Gordon walks into the dental office, Joker's fake name on the door is Dr. Laffo.
Wait, didn't you say a
Oh.
different thing before?
This is the changes from the comic.
Oh.
The comic includes a couple of dream sequences in which Harley envisions her perfect future married to the Joker with children who turn out to be just as murderous as them. There's this whole bit where he's like smoking a pipe in a chair in the corner. He's all old and she's like knitting or something. And then there's like little tiny Joker and Harley running around like stabbing each other.
Oh, God.
It's pretty good. And lastly, the comic reveals the Joker's thoughts as he races to stop Harley from killing Batman. He's like zooming down the street.
Okay, yeah.
Fearing the other Gotham villains will laugh at him if his girlfriend turns out to be the one who kills Batman. So it's just this little moment where you've got little thought bubbles of like,
masculinity.
yeah.
See, it's got to be
Toxic
funny, but he can't be the
masculinity.
joke.
yeah.
Is
Yeah.
the whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
They
Yeah, he's
can't
just
laugh
got little
at
floating
him.
Two-Faced Riddler guys like, ha, you fucking, you couldn't do it yourself or whatever.
Yeah.
I think if they put that in here, it would have like broken the pacing of that
Yeah.
thing.
Yes,
he does
absolutely.
get there immediately. Like
Well,
she
'cause-
hangs up the phone. You never guess what, and then he bursts in the door. Like, how did you do that?
The thing I
But-
think is interesting is most of this episode is pretty strongly just from Harley's point of view.
Yeah.
As far as
Yeah.
like episodes go,
yeah,
like we don't really
Joker
see.
is just there.
yeah. We see like briefly like Batman's perspective, seeing her like message on the TV, kind of, but like that's still her kind of.
Yeah,
and we're not
it's
also supposed to
from
step
her.
out because we don't know that she's going to betray him and stuff.
Right. Yeah, if they suddenly cut back to the Joker and what he's thinking,
It's like
it
that's-
kind of ruins it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we're out of the changes now.
Well, because I guess that would be her telling us. Oh no, that wasn't a flashback at that point.
No.
Yeah.
That was a constant. Okay.
Yeah. Mask
My
of the
bad.
Phantasm. Which is the flashback? I don't know. The last couple of things. When Batman and the Joker are standing on the train, the animation shows a train moving under their feet when they should be moving with the train. I thought this was referring to that side profile silhouette thing, which wasn't true. They were stuck to the train. But then when it cuts to like looking down the train and Batman's crossing his arms, you fucking idiot. The train is just moving under their feet. But I think it's because the buildings are also like hand drawn frame by frame moving in 3D space. And I assume whoever did the train was like, camera's moving past the train as well. Then got all the way through it when the fuck it wasn't supposed to be moving. Well, I'm not going to redo that.
Their feet are just really slippery from the piranha juice.
yeah,
Still.
piranha juice.
Like the anti-Keen thing for me was when it was like I think Joker and Harley and they were like
Oh, yeah.
walking backwards with their feet like locked in step and it
And
looked
the
so
background was so
weirdly
jittery. Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
thing just looked so
an interesting
that
choice.
was bad. I don't know how, I can't even explain how it was bad. It was
I
just,
didn't even
like,
notice
upsetting.
that.
It didn't stick out as much to me, but when you called it out, I was like, oh yeah, it was kind of weird.
You guys noticed so much first watch.
Thank you.
It's Brian's first one. Last is none of the other Bat Family heroes, Robin, Batgirl, or Nightwing, appear in this episode. Cult of the Cat, Judgment Day, and this episode are the only episodes to only feature Batman and none of the other Bat Family heroes.
Again, I think that's like to its credit, to be
Yeah.
honest. Like I think
Yeah.
having such a small cast made it feel really focused.
And very intimate with this
Yeah,
relationship
which
between these guys.
Is I think
yeah.
also why it was such a good finale because it felt so Batman focused and
Yeah.
Batman and his rogues focused.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why oh God, what was the
Batman Beyond.
no.
Absolute power.
Absolute power.
Superman
It was like
needs
you,
those
you
other
had
people.
you had a cast
Oh, yeah.
with nobody mattering. And this is the antithesis with like you got like
Everybody
you get,
matters. Yeah.
like 3.5 people
Yeah.
and they like matter.
Commissioner Gordon's only half a person because he has brain.
He's like a
drilled
quarter of a
into-
person, and the other psychiatrist is also like a quarter of a
Yeah,
person.
she
They're
was
there
barely
for like
there, yeah.
you can hold your breath
Yeah.
through both of their scenes and they'll be fine.
This was also the last time we saw the BTAS intro I mentioned as we were talking through it. You never get to boom, 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 boom. You never get to see that again. You can't watch it on YouTube or anything. So you can't rewatch any of these episodes like we said.
It's okay, we have better intros now. Hot take.
Brian had thoughts about the Batman Beyond one. Anyway, Keen effects.
You gotta wait.
Train, so good.
So one thing you mentioned that there was this scene where like when she hears the Batman tell her that Joker made up all this shit.
Wrong story.
But I feel like there were so many, like in the psychiatry scenes in the or the therapy scenes in the flashback, they were also like very enclosed and they were in this like spotlight of light and everything else was like
when she
black.
first picks up the flower before the commercial break, there's like all the blinds lighting on her face.
I was thinking
and
that
stuff.
part too. When they're like laying down and like and she's like,
couch
like they're just in
okay.
that like spotlight of a circle, which feels very much like it's putting that focus on that interaction.
Yeah.
I just think like, again, pulling from the comic, I think there was a lot more stark direction choices as far as shadows and angles and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think visually it was really strong.
It was very strong.
Except for a couple of very bad things. Like the Avatar people and the lockstep and the train.
And the Barbie feet.
I think
Barbie
it's
feet.
Coco of the Coco Dong Yang that I like more. I'm not exactly sure, but
You just like hot cocoa.
I just like cocoa. This
It is
coffee
winter.
next to me. When all the like kind of like rubbery faces the Joker makes in this episode were really good. When he's like thinking hard, his chin is all like super droopy and long, and then when he's like freaking out on Harley Quinn, his face. Brian, stop laughing.
Think about if you get like thinking causes your chin to droop.
Yeah, I can't do it. But yeah, and then when he's all mad, the only shot I didn't think looked great, unfortunately, because it looks really good in the comic, because it's the B-Task Joker in the comic, is when he's, whatever, Batman, and then you have who tied up where? And it's like a super close-up. He's just got the giant, stupid black eyeballs. Like, it's just does not look good. There's so little detail for you to draw. Like, that shot, I'll show you the comic version of that
I think
shot.
that's definitely like one of the down. I don't really care that much about the redesigns in
Sure.
TNBA just because it doesn't impact the story for me.
This is the comic version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that looks.
There's
It's so much more
to play with,
stylized,
yeah.
so much more like shape to work. Because like
Yeah.
also his mouth never usually moves out of the kind of crescent shape that he has.
The smile.
Well, I feel like you
Yeah.
could have, like, in a situation like that, like zoomed in just on his mouth and like the bottom of the phone. Like that could have been like an impactful
Just
close up.
put more lines for that moment. Like even when Harley Quinn, she's like ahem behind him, and then she gets all grumpy face. They like give her a forehead line, they give her a chin lines, cheek lines, like to emphasize like I'm really upset about this. But then when they cut to Joker, he just has the same lines, but they're just moved to look angry. Yeah, he's too smooth.
Smooth boy.
I'm trying to think of any other, like, obviously that shot where she's like alone soloed in the background is really good. Like you were gonna,
I think on like a smaller note, it's partly just the style of the show. I just think it was animated well, but like some of the angles on Harleen's face when she was pre-Harley Quinn, like the angles of her eyes and the like her mouth, I feel like they worked really crisply together. Like something about just, I think it was animated nicely. I was like, your eyes are nice.
so dreamy.
He's got beautiful eyes, Harley.
Why are there tears coming? Let me wipe those away.
That
for
was
you.
like, yeah, they had some really good emotional expressions too,
Yeah.
as far as like it didn't pull punches.
You feel really bad for her when she's standing there crying about the like, he told me it was a circus. But then when she turns around, she's still crying, but she's got this like crazy look on her face, and she's gonna dunk him in the tank because she's like just so fucked up by this. Like I don't know what to do. I guess I'll just kill you. Yeah, it is very very well done, very keen.
I wonder what would have happened if she was able to just like. Because
Well,
it didn't seem like Batman was
he
able
would
to
be dead.
escape. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he was like, she had me, you know. Like I don't know what I was.
It would have
gonna
been
do.
the last Batman episode.
Yeah, it would have worked out.
Man, like stylistically, I kind of wish they didn't. I get why they did the Joker rose at the end thing.
Oh yeah.
I kind of wish they didn't. I kind of wish they were just like,
just let it linger.
No, because then it would be this thing that people would be talking about, like arguing
Is he
about
dead?
forever.
Yeah,
Is he
yeah,
dead? Is he
yeah.
still alive?
Yeah.
But it was
almost forgot
cool.
it ended like that now because we've had so many times. Joker fell into the water when there was a shark. Joker blew up in World's Finest. Joker this thing, Joker that thing, and now he fell in the smokestack. And I was like, yeah, like whatever. But then I remember, I hadn't remembered that the flower was at the end of the episode to show like proof that he's fine. He's all of the Arkham guys now. Yeah. He split his Horcrux into a.
I was waiting for like
Yeah.
one of those guys to go like just out of screen, like just off screen, and then like hear the echo through the halls or something.
Smile in the near the camera or something.
Yeah.
I think on one hand, it's like, I wish that it had been able to linger on more of the tragedy of like, oh, she feels the weight of like, oh, blah, blah, blah. But I also think it's almost, it ties into the like oof of it all that she just, even after all of that, she's like, my puddin', my angel.
And the music in that scene is like sad as she's like, oh man, he's dead, but that's okay because I'm over him. And
it's time for me time.
Yeah, it's time for a monster to come out time. And then that's the Etrigan thing that you said. Remember, nobody remembers except me. And then, but then when she sees the flower and go, angel, the music doesn't go like, happy. It's still kind of like I don't know kind of thing to like tell the audience like, this is not okay that she thinks this.
It's a good adaptation because it pulls together all of the things that come from a stagnant comic into a motion and music and everything, where it all works together really well.
Yeah, which is nice because you're always like reading a Batman or I am anyway, going like, Kevin
right
Conroy. Yeah, you're always reading a Batman comic, listener. Stop, you might be driving. Like you hear Kevin Conroy's voice, you hear Mark Hamill's voice, et cetera, et cetera. And so when they get these opportunities like Mad Love, it happens a couple other times where it's like, okay, cool. We finally get to see what this would have been like in motion with music and all that stuff. So,
yeah.
But speaking of music, it's time for Jordan Blumen's Musical Minute, which is a segment now.
Oh.
Hey, music.
You get to hear it. I know. Here's the thing.
Now over to the musical moment. Right off the bat, this is my favorite episode of TNBA because it is a masterpiece all the way through. I love every note in this. Highly recommend rewatching the episode, listening only to the music. I'm going to cover as much as I can, from the romantic version of the Harley motif on what she thinks will be date night, to the dissonant chaos in the music as she picks out her costume. The Dies Irae, the Song of Death, makes an appearance as she introduces herself to the Joker as the new and improved Harley Quinn, symbolizing that part of her has died, succumbing to his manipulations. I love the absence of music as she gets pushed out the window, letting that heartbreak of that moment sink into us with nothing to distract us from it. I really love the violin music at the very end of the episode that starts out as this mournful piece and then twists itself back into that romantic version of the Harley motif, showing us that she can't escape that abused part of herself. It's tragic. I also think it's really interesting that we only hear the Joker motif when he whistles it diegetically in his cell during the flashback, which is just a little reminder that this isn't a Joker episode, it's a Harley episode. Also, it just reminds me how amused I am that that theme is diegetic. Where did it come from? How did he get that late night talk show band to play it in Almost Got Him? Was there an existing orchestration of it, or is the Joker just a really good composer? Just stuff to think about. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic.
Fucking Jordan, what a legend.
I was about to say you are such a treasure. I love hearing I love hearing your breakdowns.
This is the third episode now. We've had it as a segment. He's pulled out like, oh yeah, this thing. Yeah,
my God, I'm the first listener. It's chronologically.
Yeah, you are the first person to hear this.
I'm so privileged.
But like, I mean, that's the stuff that like, and I think the reason why we've asked him formally to do this is because of that. That's the stuff that we're like, oh yeah, that sounds cool. And we're talking about Batman Beyond, like, oh, like the drum kit and this blah 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 blah. And then here's freaking Jordan with like, there's this. Did you hear? There's this. Did you hear? There's this. And it feels like it's a museum tour of the episode.
Yeah,
I don't think he's once told us not to go back and listen to the episode.
Please do it. Yeah,
which I love.
Well, but I do just like how much he says stuff that like I absorbed as I was watching it, but then when I go to like try to think about it again, I can picture stuff that I saw, but I can't necessarily unless it's like a weird voice acting thing. I can't necessarily remember the thing I heard. So then when he's like, oh yeah, this thing and that thing, I'm like, that did happen. You're right.
Well, that's like the thing that I think about podcasting. That's like, it's a little bit harder than it seems because it's like, oh, it's just two people talking. But like to go back
and listen. 3 people today, excuse me.
Yeah, we do have the dogs. Thank you.
The dogs count as one person. Apricots aren't people.
You're so correct.
We should not take a picture. We should just I keep it in the listener's mind that there's just the two of us
and
and a fruit
sitting in front of the
microphone. Anthropomorphic.
But anyway, like I think it is like it's hard to keep everything in your brain, remember everything that you wanted to say, because how many times we like, oh, that was a good podcast episode, and then like say later or text later, they'll like, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel with like making mail too. What I also like is just that when you get to hear a bunch of audience feedback, especially with someone that has a specific area of expertise, you get to kind of, I was mentioning earlier, like from comics to animation, there's a lot of different stuff with the medium that gets added on with, movement and, momentum and music.
Which isn't to say that the comic is like
no, but like each
missing
genre
something.
has its own layers of stuff happening.
Yeah.
And what I love about different people's areas of expertise is what they'll notice. Because like when I'm watching a story, especially if I'm rewatching, like I'll notice a lot when it comes to like dialogue and exposition and how those are delivered and written to feel natural or unnatural because of that I do my own writing and stuff, and that kind of
reading it in your head versus hearing someone else.
Yeah, or
say
just like
it.
like when in film and stuff, how they can give you information or have reactions or back and forth, and
whether
like
it
if
feels
it's
cardboard
if it
clunky,
sticks out or not. And like I'm really glad hearing someone that notices the music, because then I can be like, oh, that's so cool that you know this
the
stuff.
DSE Ray.
So thank you, Jordan.
Yeah,
very cool.
I love that tidbit about the Joker theme, that he must have written that, or he must have.
It's not. He's so.
Yeah,
he's definitely the kind of person who'd be like, he'd do a heist and he's like, I orchestrated my own music to play over this blimp while I bomb the city.
He realized his own theme song.
He probably like blasts it, over Gotham.
But no, I think you're right. Like, and I also appreciate your take on it, like from like a writing perspective, because I think there are things that like people will and are like top 10 list, right? Like it's the things that make the impressions on us the most out of these.
Like you notice a lot
elements.
of animation too.
Yeah,
which I think is
like,
cool.
How do you notice? I don't know. Draw stuff.
It's just really cool.
It is, yeah.
And I'm Brian.
Hey. Is that twice now?
At least 3, I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
Where's
he's still
Clayface?
Brian.
Where's Clayface?
Piranhas?
I was thinking there's the
Mike,
squishy
where's
stuff on the bomb that she sticks to his window when she breaks him out. But,
to blow up my baby boy.
Yeah.
but if we don't want him to blow up, what's another?
Well, he can't be that because that was in the past before Clayface was there.
Is he the,
you're right. Okay, what's another?
Is he the dirt that Harley Quinn like
she
bulldozers?
pushes up with her. That's
He
why
was just hanging out.
maybe it didn't scrape her up because it was actually just really squishy.
It was beans. It was refried beans. On the ground.
And that's why she was all farting in the beginning.
Oh man. Oh man.
Sorry, everybody.
Well, you're also now the first listener in chronologically to hear the new Batman's Usefulness theme.
What did Batman do? Did he get a
Holy
10
shit.
or only a 2? I really gotta know. Tell me now, what is Batman's usefulness? Out now.
Fuck yeah.
I had a lot of fun putting that together. Yeah, that's the Yopton singing that.
Oh, hell yeah. Other Michael.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
Come
not
here,
you.
Come here. Come closer to the microphone.
You can get close to the microphone.
You did great.
All right. Well, yeah, Batman, he didn't do so hot. He would have died.
Well, no, but I think...
He caught his belt in his mouth.
Oh my God. He caught his belt in his mouth. He opened his belt with his mouth.
Yeah.
He picked the locks
With his
that
mouth,
were
yeah.
on his back. There's no lock on
With
the
his
front.
mouth.
There's no lock on the front while he's
No,
hanging.
he
It's in the
picked the
back.
lock of his feet with his mouth. Maybe he used his feet to pick his
So,
back
guys, if
lock.
anyone ever says the Batman won't go down on a woman again, just know that they're lying. They're lying.
Zack Snyder said it's canon, so,
And he posted...
It's one of those. That's one of those like the whole like, can you tie a knot in a cherry stem with your tongue kind of thing.
Bruce would do
like,
that for
Bruce
parties.
just like looks over and he's like, "Go get my padlock." Right?
Yeah. Well, I
Get
mean,
my padlock and get my belt. I want to show you a trick.
I think he was useful in that one of the things is obviously focusing on this episode that he says himself, like, I was helpless. There's nothing I could have done. And so that was sort of putting it on
maybe
Harley that
he's
she's
kinda
competent.
also tricking
But also I
Joker.
was saying, like,
Fuck
he's
getting to
really
him.
smart also. Outside of just physically blah,
Yeah.
like, I mean, he's not really saving the day. He would say he saved himself.
Yeah.
But like as far as things go, he was able to get himself out with smart talking, and he was also able to like reveal some stuff to Harley and like know what would hit their buttons.
It's interesting to think about how he like clearly he cares about like Harley. He doesn't want her to be abused by the Joker. He's trying to get her out of the situation, but there is like 2% of that is like, I need to get out of this. Like I'm not the only way that I'm.
It's only so sympathetic you can be when someone's about to kill you, Jay.
Well, I know, but I just mean like I don't know. Batman's been very compassionate about his villains over the course of the show, and to have her just like, I don't think that he needs to. What, Brian?
You can finish your thought.
No, it's so good.
One of the original things that we went to with Batman's usefulness was if Batman wasn't there,
yes,
what would happen to the story? And the whole point of the story was that Batman was there.
So he was extremely useful.
Usefulness is a 0.
No. It would be
It was like a 10. It's a top useful.
None of this would have happened if Batman wasn't in the picture.
Exactly. So he's
Joker
completely useful to be like to have the episode happen.
No, but would have Joker or Harley done any? Because Harley just wanted a life with her Joker without Batman.
Well, the Joker wouldn't exist.
He also wouldn't want that life with her anyway. So.
I mean,
yeah.
Meet in the middle.
I'll meet you in the middle, but you're wrong.
Well, this is what this podcast. This is why I'm a moderator at this table today.
Where's Batman sit on immigration? Man, he didn't like Superman very much at the start.
I think he's a build the wall kind of guy.
To get serious for a moment, I think
why?
Because I had a thought.
Okay.
That's the new sound when we're confused.
What?
Well, like when it comes to like how empathetic you can be with Harley, like that's a big thing when it comes to toxic relationships and abusive relationships. Is you can't be the one to make someone leave. Like they have to take that choice and make that choice themselves. Even if you can give them all the information and he literally says like he's lying to you, he manipulated you, he literally pushes her out a window, but like she still has to be the one to take the autonomy to step away, and she doesn't. Yeah. You know, and that's again part of the tragedy of the episode is seeing those cycles. But 5
swordfish out of 5 out of 10.
Is that yours?
That's
5 out of 5.
5 swordfish.
You talked back to a 10. You give him a perfect score again.
Oh no, whoopsie.
5 beans on the ground under Harley's chin out of 10 is what I'll give it.
Harley's chin is near beans a lot when she's with poison ivy. Something. Continue.
Oh, you know, in the episode she also said like I've always been more like attracted to stronger personality types, and it cuts to
Poison Ivy, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you were.
Which is also a timeline thing because she already exists before Harley Quinn exists. Anyway, what's yours? 5 something, I think.
Well, he wanted to give 0.
I'm gonna give him,
right.
yeah,
you can
but
do
I'll
whatever
still,
you want.
No, this is we're being a cohesive crowd.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna give him 5 dental lobotomies out of 10.
Okay, dental lobotomy.
Can I see little Nora?
Yeah, you can. Well,
he's attached. Yeah,
you can though.
Little baby Nora. Look at his eyebrows. He's so cute.
Sorry, there's a Funko Pop here, guys. I'm holding it in my hand and rotating it.
Freeze. Oh,
I still
you
think...
should take this. This is all the leftovers from the live show. It's a bunch of tea.
Oh my goodness.
A bunch of little things. Leftovers. Here's the leftovers.
And a little squeaky
little guy. He's just
by the way, I have accidentally started saying the Mr. Freeze thing as a joke with other things.
Oh, really?
No, it will be like Mr. Blank.
Oh.
Like we have to give our cat this like dietary soup or whatever, and we call him Mr. Soup.
Mr.
But do you scream it into
we say like they call him Mr. Soup. So, you know.
That's also kind of a
I like that idea.
Pumbaa joke.
Well, I don't watch that as
Jamie, what the fuck is your rating?
I already said it.
You didn't give yours, Brian.
Oh, you did. No, I did. Dental lobotomies.
Oh, never mind.
That's right. And you said the swordfish, but you were talking over Tiptapricot, and so
the swordfish thing. Have you seen
Swordfish Trombones, the album from Tom Waits?
Steve Carell movie? Get Smart.
Probably
Get Smart.
not.
It's good.
Why is everything a remake?
I haven't even seen a lot of movies I should have seen.
There's a very good moment where his superior officer guy's in the car with him, and they're chasing the bad guy in a car chase, and then. I think it's on the roof of the van they're chasing or something. There's like a big swordfish statue, and it like shoots through the windshield like at the guy, at his like partner guy or whatever. And at the very end, like they screech to a halt, and he notices something. Steve Carell's like, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?" And it cuts to the guy. The swordfish point is like a millimeter from his forehead, and he's, "If you're thinking, holy shit, a swordfish almost went through my head, then yes." And it's like my favorite line from anything ever. So whenever she's got the swordfish in this episode, I'm always just thinking, like, say it, please say it. But no.
But he tail of the swordfish slaps her out the window.
Hits her out there, yeah.
Also, why isn't that tempered glass?
We have thoughts of the week from Dylan Pollock.
Coming up next, it's another guest appearance from our favorite visiting superhero.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
We have new themes for things now.
Yeah, it's 2025.
Dylan gets his own segment.
Dylan gets his own segment.
Nice.
Mad love. Here it is.
Indeed.
It's time to toss the week in Dylan Pollock on Mad Love, or The Floss Will Be With You, always. On a less goofy note, in 20-ish minutes, this episode gives the same exact Joker as The Dark Knight. Multiple choice identities, ultimately manipulative plans, allies just for his own usefulness. Slap this bad boy on the top 10 so goddamn fast. Also, I thought of Joker as the ultimate manipulator, but Batman does a great job manipulating Harley and Joker into not killing him. Also, damn, Batman laughing is really creepy in this episode. Also, another one of the great line readings of the DCAU is Arlene Sorkin saying, "My fault, I didn't get the joke." It just tears your heartstrings.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Cuts your heartstrings? You know what I mean. My heartstrings are all messed up. Speaking of messed up, this might be my favorite ending of any episode, perfectly encapsulating the cycle of their relationship. Speaking of cycles of relationships, it's time for the question of the week. James' favorite part. No, I'm not going to ask about your relationships. Would Harley always have ended up being a supervillain, or is it Joker specifically that makes her that way? And no, not in like throwing her in the chemicals way like Suicide Squad. Is it his influence that pushes her over the edge, or would she always have turned at some point?
Oh, he didn't say, "Okay, I love you, bye-bye." But
why didn't he say that?
No, you
Dylan.
gotta do it. Thanks, Dylan.
We love you.
Oh, man.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry. I'm saying I love myself.
Yeah. You are, Dylan. Like we are
I'm
Venom.
gonna blame Joker because it only takes the one.
I think she could have been like a really toxic misinformation TikToker.
Yeah.
Maybe like I don't
the Riddler. Yeah,
I don't think she would have been like a super villain. Maybe,
She's
but
like, I'm a psychiatrist. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna have to trust me.
psychiatrist.
Yeah, I think
I agree.
she probably would have gone down a not super ethical path,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it would have been killing people with
Maybe
fart
eventually
gas.
there would. Yeah, maybe eventually there would have been some kind of other villain that like manipulates her in a similar way or something, or gets her to do something she shouldn't have done, and she just winds up in jail, like normal jail. But for normal people,
Well, I don't even understand how Arkham works.
I don't know.
It is not ethical.
I mean, it doesn't work.
It
really.
doesn't- yeah,
Pretty much everybody
Joker's
gets
getting out of
out.
his cell constantly. What's this episode?
Books or hip hop?
I'm gonna go with books because it was based on a book.
I would also go
So
with
predictable.
book because comic book, but also just because
Story.
I think. I mean, obviously, hip hop. Every time you bring up hip hop, I'm always like, it's such a diverse genre.
I know it really doesn't make this rating
it doesn't
system
mean
makes no
anything.
sense at all.
That's
Yeah.
not supposed to make sense.
but like vibes wise, I'm also I think it probably books just because it feels like it lays out a story in a way that I think is
Books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's so booky.
I do know. It's very booky. How about you, Brian? You gonna say hip hop like a wrong person?
Well, when you say it that way,
you might.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to make this like a clear agreement across the board. Hold on. Give me a second with the books or hip hop of this.
Okay. Well, while you're thinking, we can do the top 10. And obviously, Tiptapricot's got to put the top 10 by default.
I keep meaning to like actually make a list of what we watch, but it's honestly gonna fill up like really soon.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
So
I guess you could.
Last Son of Krypton is still like the top for me so far.
I do think I want to say books, by the way.
Okay.
Just for the
Thank you.
record.
Thank you. It is now on the record audio wise.
Yes. You can't erase it. It's gone. It's here forever.
It's on the internet.
Yeah. Do you have a number you want to give it, or you want to just put number one?
I'll give it like. Well, okay. How many spots is Last Son of Krypton?
How many spots?
Like, is it all
it's
three?
one. It was
It's
one.
okay. So
Yeah.
that's one. New Kids in Town is 2, and then so I guess like 3.
Okay.
3 works.
Three's good. Brian, are you looking at your list?
Well,
Look at this chaos. Well, there's that.
What do the dogs think? What's their top 10 placement?
What does the dog say?
Look at my new Batman Adventures thing. I definitely like it better than Old Wounds. Better than Joker's Millions. Better than You Scratch My Back. Better than The
I
Ultimate
really
Thrill.
disagree with your guys' top 10s a lot of the time.
No, it's
Also,
okay.
sometimes
You're
when
allowed.
you guys
Own,
say
you
it in
know?
like reverse order, I don't register the numbers that it is.
Yeah, 10 to 1.
I know, but I
Still, it
like.
just doesn't.
I get you.
If not for all the
Also
ridiculousness.
also
this
because
is
the
our
names
last-
are.
This is our last new Batman Adventures episode, so I'm going to read mine in reverse order, 10 to 1. Old Wounds, Joker's Millions, You Scratch My Back, There's an Ant on the Table, I Killed It With My Finger.
Oh, God.
Ultimate Thrill, Sins of the Father.
Wait, don't you have Judgment Day on there? Or are you reading? You're reading Brian's.
I'm reading Brian's.
Oh.
Judgment Day. Joker's Millions, Sons of the Father, You Scratch Moy Dick, Legends of the Dark Knight, The Ultimate Spit Whiskey in My Mouth, Never Fear, Over the Edge, Holiday Nights, Growing Pains.
Oh, Holiday Nights is really good.
That explains why I was like, wow, it's so much better than half of these I have on my top 10 is because I wasn't looking at my top 10. I think I'm going to put it at number 5.
Brian is at his gamer setup in the corner, looking
that
at
gets
the
rid of Judgment Day.
top 10s.
By the way, Joker's Million stayed on the list.
There's like 4 squares of sound padding on the wall.
Yeah, it's really helping, can't you tell?
It was fuck you, man.
It's because he normally sits right there staring at me for podcasts. You should get a webcam for that monitor so you're not constantly like looking down on me when we record on Zoom.
I just wanted the metaphor of how I feel in my life to reflect on you visually.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it is when we're both standing
next
to
to
Brian. So, you know, grow my penis.
Grow my penis. Which Brian thinks is a little
read
girl.
that from there?
Yeah. You want me to read it 10-1?
Yeah.
10, chipped beef or old wounds. 9, Joker's Millions. 8, you scratch my... Okay, now... Yeah, it's not even
This is why it's
dick.
so hard to do.
Yeah, okay. You scratch my back. The ultimate thrill. Sins of the Father. Never Fear. Legends of the Dark Knight. Over the Edge. Holiday Nights. And Grow My Penis.
I hear that in my head sometimes, like walking the dogs, and I'm like, that's the most ridiculous brain scratchy near Tourette's thing I do.
Penis funny.
Yeah, that is true. Where are you putting this on it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
The document outline has a section that says bottom forsakes 17.
That's where I'm going to put
Sure does. Forsake 17 in. Yeah.
Never fuck. Never fuck.
Never fuck.
No.
The episode
That's
where
what Joker was
Batman
doing.
Yeah. takes an anti-libido pill.
You know, she was going to fuck me if you hadn't showed up.
Okay, it's not top 3.
Okay.
This is a tough one.
What? Listener said they should do an ASMR episode. I don't think that they wanted to.
This is a scratchy beard.
We can do it. Yeah, you scratch your beard. I'm just going to scratch my
You scratch my beak.
I've been meaning to shave for like a solid week and a half now. What the fuck am I doing with my life?
I'm just wearing a mask, so my mask can
Scratch your beard on it.
Anyways,
Yeah, what are you doing? The listener didn't ask for that, but they got it anyway. Brian, pick something.
Jamie, you gotta give me. You can cut this out.
I know.
Number 6.
Number 6. Madler.
Is it Yopten?
Probably not.
Not for you.
Really? Huh.
I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm doing it.
How is Feet of Clay Part 2 so high on your... Sorry, we listen and we don't judge.
How high is it on what list? Did you say my list? Let me tell you.
I think I'm gonna put it. Yeah,
you got really different Yoptens.
Oh my god!
Oh, yeah.
I know. Well, the Yopten is harder for me because it's like it's one thing. You know, you only have 10 spots for the entire DCAU.
For something in the future I have not heard yet, but the listener has at this point.
Oh.
Well, actually, I don't need to.
What?
Rebirth is so low.
Oh, on
Brian's list.
Yeah, it's okay.
I realized I didn't have to not spoil it because
everyone's heard
listeners already heard it at this point. I'm jealous of you, listener. I know Brian's watched Rebirth and I can't ask him about it.
Well, you
can. I mean, I could, but I won't because I want to hear it.
Yeah, you want to know, and I got you. I think I'm gonna put it above On Leather Wings, Brian.
Which is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mad Love. Still under Over the Edge, Grow My Penis, Late Mr. Kent, Rebirth, Robin's Reckoning, and World's Finest.
I agree with that.
Mr. Kent.
Well, mostly. I don't know why I just wasn't a fan of growing. I mean, I do,
Grow My Penis.
but
I wasn't a fan of growing my penis, but I did it anyway.
Right
yeah, but I did it anyway.
God, this one is hard because it's like it's really. So it's a really good episode, and I think it's really impactful.
Yeah,
but like, is it?
Yes.
Would you think about it tomorrow? Do you think?
So this is where I'm like on the struggle bus because like I can go back.
The big struggle bus.
The struggle big bus or the big struggle bus?
Well, order of adjectives says it has to be the big struggle bus.
Okay. But order of
big bus being a noun, it would be the struggle big bus.
Very, very true. English is important.
So like, I'm upset that Beware the Great Ghost has like fallen on my like honorary mentions list. Because to me, that's like one of the best. But also like the episode itself is not like the best of the best. It's just one that really sticks with me.
Yeah.
Well, if you had my brain, I did remember this episode after only seeing it once. Later in my life. This is only my second time seeing
Am I alive?
So I did remember it.
Yeah.
I've only seen like Batman and the new Batman Adventures and stuff like once.
Okay.
When I did my first DCAU watch, so.
Right, yeah. So, but that all being said, I think it's better than Almost Got Him.
Yes.
I would agree.
In my list, you're so judgy. Riddler's Reform. The late Mr. Second Chance.
What happened in Second Chance, Brian?
I put it on my honorary mention list to put Mad Love at number 9.
That's what happened
That's
in
what
Second
happened
Chance?
to it.
Okay. Well, but we decided, we said that the honorary mentions isn't just where they bump down to. It's only if you actually want to keep it on the honorary
Yeah,
mentions.
no, I know.
Do you want to
Can I-
keep
can
Second
I do a
Chance?
Brian?
I don't.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What was Second Chance again?
Yeah, see, Brian, do you even remember?
Second Chance.
Yeah, explain to me.
Second Chance
Synopsis.
was
Hang on a
the...
second. We got to do the synopsis button.
So, I honestly, wait, who was the bad guy? That's what I'm having a hard time remembering.
It's in the name of the episode.
Oh, Two-Face, right. I'm like, because I'm like, it was the bad guy who was like getting the like almost good and then at the end like goes full back to bad. And yeah, it was Two-Face. That was the jump out of the hospital. The hospital window gets blown out. I'm trying to remember.
No.
I'm trying to separate them.
That's Two-Face Part 1.
That is Two-Face. Okay.
So, see, it doesn't go on your honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Two-Face kidnapped himself, and they went to a big building, and they fought.
Yeah.
And the coin almost rolled off the thing, and then they fell.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the impactness.
See?
Well, so, okay. Fuck you, mister. This is my job.
I'm just saying,
Hello?
it doesn't go on your honorable mentions.
Hello, mister. I've watched 150s of
I'm
these.
just saying.
150 of these once and sort through them. That's not an easy job.
For the precise purpose of the top 10,
Yeah.
it doesn't, it matters for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Fucking Growing Pain. I really need to change the name Growing Pains.
You don't want to
not
grow
grow
your
my
penis
penis?
anymore?
Well, I mean, no, not that. I mean, just the.
I mean, clearly I do. Yeah. Okay, let's stop doing this part of the podcast and go to the
Okay.
future and do mail. This is the mail for Mad Love.
Mad Love.
Do you
Jamie,
remember that? What that is?
Do you remember that? Do you remember what that is?
Do you remember that?
Do you remember?
Do you remember Love?
Do you remember
Like the
Harley?
good old days.
Mad Love, the Harley Quinn episode?
Yeah, the Harley Quinn's origin story.
That was a good one. I
was
like
a
that
good
one.
People liked it, I think, because they wanted to talk about it.
Oh,
right now.
well,
and we're going to
too
hear what
bad,
they have
'cause
to
we
say.
don't-
Oh,
We don't do that anymore.
you're right.
You can just press the.
That yacht.
We just press this button.
Just press that
listen to
button,
the song.
and then we conclude.
What
we drop.
Our weekly yacht.
Oh yeah, those.
The mail segment.
Box first. There sure was a lot.
Now Jamie's mad.
Too bad we're all.
At least I am.
Just Dylan Pollard.
I did make some joke last time about how, there's not a lot anymore or something. But there's definitely still a lot. I'm just picking through it more pickily, you know?
Yeah, I think we should ask Kimmy to redo the mail theme and have it not be Jamie's mad, but just like, now Jamie's tired. He's just really tired. And like the rest of the the rest
There
of the
sure
theme song
was
can just,
a lot. Now she's glad. She's well, we can ask people actually to go to the bit.ly link in the description to fill out the Google form and tell us where you live. Just forgot to do that last time. Remind people to do that. We want to come to you and do a live show near you, but we don't know where you live, so we need to know that.
And looking at the document,
there's a lot of New York
listeners on the West Coast. Look, we are broke. That was cool. Did your lights just go out?
Yeah, the everything else is fine. Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
The light just went back. I was like, okay.
Was that 3 minutes? Did we tie? That was 3 minutes. That was 3 minutes, Jamie. Oh
no. I made a funny, hilarious joke before we started recording how we were going to die in 3 minutes. And then lightning struck my house.
Jamie, that was like 3 minutes and probably 10 seconds, but like, holy shit, all the same. Anyway, listener, so as I was saying, we're
40
broke.
years.
We're broke, and the vast majority of you seem to be in New York.
Yeah.
And that would be
At
really
least people
fun.
that are responding to the thing. Yeah, we would like to go there. That's a ways away, though.
So we're just gonna need like okay, how about this?
Yeah.
We'll do the New York thing, but you guys have to fund our flights.
You
okay?
have to tell everyone that you know to come to the show so that it's worth doing it. If you're like, I'm a listener and there's 10 of me that live in New York, and it's like, cool, see you there. But if there's only 10 people there, we're never doing that again. But if you live in New York, don't take this as us saying we're not going to do that. Just still tell us that you live there.
Just buy us our flights to get there,
give
and
us
we'll do a
lot
show
of money.
for you. Yeah. If you're not in New York, if you are some of these West Coast people that we were expecting to go see, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, I don't know.
It's not off the menu.
You just gotta you guys gotta make the numbers happen, because we're trying to go to the numbers, because we're not like that big and famous, and we want to do this. We want to perform our podcast for you.
We're like above small, below medium famous, and we need your help.
Yeah.
We want to go places and do more live shows, but we need to know that it's worth it. So please tell us just the basics. Tell us where you live. Fill out the form.
Send us pictures of your feet.
Pictures of your feet. If you want to reach out to us, like the fire feet at the end of World's Finest Part 3, you can, I guess what people reach with, you can send a short-ass email or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com. Or
I know for a fact everybody listening has tried to at least tried to pick something with their feet.
Monkey feet, or leave a comment on today's episode on the Pod Tower YouTube channel or Spotify. Please don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian, though, because we don't want him to know things. This is from Robert Kelly, who I assume is the senator from the first X-Men movie. It says 10 out of 10 podcast. So far, I'm really enjoying this podcast. Oh, hang on. You get one of these? I started right in the middle, and I listened to the S-Task episodes because when I started listening, weirdly enough, I was already watching S-Task to begin with and finished it recently. I just started Batman Beyond. So far, loving it. Stay yappy, you yappy dudes. Sent from my iPhone. Thank you, Robert Kelly.
Robert Kelly, former senator. Former?
I don't know.
Current?
He turned into kind of like a squishy blob mutant man and died, I think.
But
so
is
I
he
hope you're
still
doing
the
okay.
senator?
Sent it from the afterlife. Yeah, is he still a senator? It's possible.
Well, thanks for being here anyway.
Yeah. This is from Kyle, Mad Love. So long, Batman, the New Adventures, we hardly knew thee.
Brian, James, Mad
Kyle.
Love, what is there to say? Well, I made some notes. This episode is dark and definitely the most mature and sad episode of Batman we've seen so far.
You think
also,
so?
I've just got some miscellaneous things here. He said a Star Wars thing, and I wanted to share that. I couldn't tell you when this happened, but I remember being absolutely shocked when my dad, shout out Dave, told me that Joker was voiced by Luke Skywalker. Also, another thing that I love about this episode, and whether
Dave
this was
knows.
on purpose or not, having Joker come up with fake backstories and telling them to Harley clearly was done in The Dark Knight, and I love the fact that that continued. You want to know how I got these scars? Also, I couldn't help but think during the flashback, how upset was James seeing the New Adventures designs instead of the Batman the Animated
Now
Series
Jamie's
ones
mad.
when he started caring about continuity, which I'm assuming was at birth.
No, well, I said that in a video recently. I can't say what it was, but because it'll
Dave could say.
Dave would know.
He's such a legend. Also, that's like some like seriously cool like parental knowledge.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, Luke Skywalker is Joker. What do you think of that, child?
Luke Skywalker, he looks like a clown now. I had pinpointed what I think is the first time I cared about continuity, and then like realized it in the video script, like as I'm writing it, like, wait a fucking second, I think this is the first thing I gave a shit about as a child of like, that's not right or whatever. So
people have memories of like riding bikes or their first time like traveling out of country. And you have continuity memories. Oh, this is the first time I cared about continuity.
I remember.
I'm terrified to think of. I'm terrified to think of like the other like memories that you have.
Why? Why are you terrified?
Oh, because I don't know. It's probably something weird like, or traumatic maybe. I mean, I can think about the first time I stepped on a snail and had it crunch under my feet. That ruined me for like a month.
And then I told you about Scott Steele stepping on snails. I told Dan Reba about Scott Steele stepping on snails. And then I texted Scott Steele that I told Dan Reba about Scott Steele stepping on snails, and he hearted the text. God damn. Well, speaking of weird memories, John B3919 says the marching band talk is bringing back good school memories, good times. That is cool, good.
Oh, you're one of those, are you?
Yeah, sorry.
You know who else is one of those? Scott Steele.
Oh, text my him. God. Banana Man says okay.
Okay.
So that's good to know.
Fuck yeah.
We got Michelle Salerno, Mad Love. Hello, Bon and Jovi. Mad Love was the first episode. I don't know how. If someone's done that before, I don't remember it. But
I don't remember either. That's incredible.
Mad Love is the episode that made me fall in love with Harley Quinn back in elementary school, so it holds a special place in my heart. I even made an edit of this episode years ago if you're interested in watching. What edited how? That depends for whether I want to see it. A part of why I love Harley Quinn so much is her complex character and her Brooklyn accent. Is that what it is? Is it Brooklyn? It's Harley Quinn accent to me. I don't know. I genuinely record my voice sometimes trying to sound like her. I love Arlene Sorkin's acting. I think the storytelling of this episode was the perfect way to end off TNBA. It's so well executed, I can't even make fun of it. I hope Brick enjoyed this as much as I did, and if you didn't, that's okay too. You always take shots from folks who just don't get the joke. Yup, till you drop. That's what Luke Skywalker said in the episode. Good work.
Well, thanks for your input there and your support. And you certainly wrote down your city of origin, right?
You certainly did in the Google form. Sure, you will now. Scarloey, it's been a mad ride. Thanks for playing my stupid messages, James, and sorry about my audio problems. It's been a lot of fun, but it's time for Earl's adventures to come to an end. Aww. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere, just Earl is retiring, not me. I don't expect this to make it into the podcast, but for context about this voice message, in the later seasons of Bewitched, they reused scripts of older episodes and just changed some of the names and jokes. Even the series finale was one of these remake episodes.
What?
Really? That's pretty crazy.
No way.
Well, here's our final Earl the Animated Series message.
Earl, we hardly knew ye.
Hello, listener, and welcome back to Jump on the Mechanic Wagon. I'm your host, Scarlowy1. In this episode, I will tell you about Season 1, Episode 24 of the New Earl Adventures, The Wizard of the Fender Bender, which just so happens to be the last episode.
Oh, man.
After the Joker now styles in a fender bender with the Batmobile, Earl has to order a new fender from Houdini Auto Parts. The end. This episode is a reused script from an old episode. They just changed a few names. I can't believe they would do this for the final episode. It's Bewitched all over again.
Oh, God.
Anyway, see you around. Same PP time, same poo-poo channel. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Thank
buddy.
You, those have
Thanks,
been fun,
Scarlowy.
and we appreciate you sticking around for fucking forever.
I can't believe they just phoned it in at the end there, right?
I know, just like Bewitched, which I knew about. This is from Ryan Hipp. When Mad Love and Hate Collide. And there's song lyrics, but I never know which song he is referencing. It says, you could have a change of heart if you could only change your mind instead of pushing me out the window for the 100th time.
Greetings once again from the Black Void. And it's everybody's favorite, Loves of Mad and the Fantabulous Paralyzation of one Harley Quinn. And this is it, the end of Batman Forever. Unless you watched this primarily on DVD like I did, in which case it was actually the Two-Face one. I suppose it's better to end this version of Batman with the origin of probably the most famous thing to come out of it than it is to end with Two-Face staring in the camera going, need to get my impression ready.
Guilty. Guilty.
That was great, right?
It's just like Richard Mole. Yeah.
So good.
So, I guess this begs the question, since this isn't like a true series finale, if you were the Kids WB assholes and you were to pick the series finale of Batman, what would it be? That's the question of the week from Dylan Bollocks, the only fucking Dylan that matters, by the way. I'd probably go with Over the Edge, I guess. Okay, bye.
Yeah, that's kind of the one that was coming to mind. It feels kind of climactic or whatever, except none of it was real. So
I don't think I would choose any of the existing ones. Instead, I think I'd write fucking Batman's origin story.
Oh my God, what do you know? What kind of sick, twisted idea is that to have ever shown that in anything at all?
So pissed.
Mask of the Phantasm was like the closest that we got to that sort of thing. But without the shooty alleyway, drop dead.
Right, yeah.
Subtitle of the episode.
I'm subtitle of the mail segment.
Of the episode that doesn't exist that we're making up right now.
Wow.
Yeah. Tiptapricot, even though they were on the episode, I listened to this voice message in preparation and I felt like it deserved to be played, so here it is.
See, I would have contemplations, except I was already on this episode, so I can't give those. But just so you know, I was going to be picked for the Yoppie games, but I was shoved out of the way by a loud know-it-all who was blasting sound bites from his boombox, and now me and my family have a mild respiratory infection, and I'm so thirsty because every time I drink, I can't. My throat is so dry. It's so dry, everybody. It's not great. So drink water for me, okay? Hydrate. That's all I ask. And while you're hydrating, imagine me as the most dried out, dehydrated little apricot that you've ever seen in your life. Just a little wrinkled, flat guy on a table. Actually, that's a really unpleasant visual image. But drink water for me. Please. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
I really don't know what that was about, but I laughed pretty hard when I listened to it the first time. So,
I mean, it sounds like they've got a respiratory infection, which sucks, but that's also like all of Oregon.
It's Ryan Hip's fault, apparently. So.
Yeah. I literally saw them at the Xfinity store, apricot. And I was just like,
yeah,
I saw them from the back.
In the Discord server. About,
really?
I just saw Brian like he was a cryptid in the corner. Like,
it was funny because similarly, I was like, "Wait a minute, that looks kind of like no, it couldn't be." And then I'm like trying to deal with Xfinity shit, and I looked over and I'm like, "I think it is." And so I texted them like, "I think I see you."
My internet's not working. Is it my eyeballs working? Is it? Last first we have Mark Aquino, Mad Love, or Hurt People, or Harley blaming her problems on an aggressive billionaire is actually understandable. The title of Mad Love could refer to any of the romances we've encountered on this Yoppie journey, Batgirl and her college dick, Bullock and Donuts, Baby Doll and Killer Croc, but especially Brian and Clayface. The fact that James still hasn't made fan art of this is very troubling to me. But anywho, here, we should have asked Dan.
I'm hard to draw, though. I don't look like anything. I sound like this, but I don't look like much.
Yeah. Anywho, thanks. Here we are, the final episode of Batman as we know it, whether you classify it as BTAS or TNBA, and it ends on an all-time classic, Harley Quinn's origin story. Reverb. That's me adding that.
Arlene slowed down and reverbed.
Gives her best performance here as Harley Quinn, and Mark Hamill's Joker is on fine form as per usual. And by the end, you can't help but feel for Harley. It's a vicious cycle that never ends. She ends up still loving him, even though it doesn't take much to assume that a situation like this will happen again. I'll leave most of the discussion to everyone else, but having not watched it in a while, I'm glad that it still holds up in my eyes. And with that, TNBA comes to a close. It's had its ups and downs like BTAS before it, but it gave us more time with these iconic interpretations and some all-time bangers, in my opinion. For the record, my top 5 favorite episodes are as follows: Legends of the Dark Knight, This, Old Wounds, Joker's Millions, and Critters. Boss biggest bear hugs to the #1 podcast host in this here multiverse of ours, Junk in the Trunk, and Babette J. Finkelstein. Praise to our Lord and Savior Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast, and remember to tell Gab that she rules. Likewise to all his loyal disciples and all the awesome sauce listeners of this Yoppie community of ours. You're all the absolute best. Don't you ever forget that. Love the new Will It Cannon video. Everyone who isn't Brian should go check it out. Seeing as this is the last traditional Batman episode that we'll see, I feel it's best to let the friends we've made along the way play us out. Gang, Various villains from throughout BTAS and TNBA come in single file and form a chorus line, including the Sewer King, Lyle Bolton, Red Claw, Maxie Zeus, Condiment King, Farmer Brown, Boss Biggest, The Terrible Trio, Calendar Girl, Clock King, Baby Doll, and others. So you just picked all the worst.
Yep.
And then they sing, we'll meet again, don't know where, etc., etc. I'm not going to sing the whole thing. Boy, who would have guessed that Maxie Zeus had such a voice? Not me, because I didn't do it. He could make Adele sound like a chalkboard scratch. Let's give them all a hand, everyone. I'm sure, wow, there's so many people clapping. I'm sure in an
all
hour's
those people
time,
in New York who are going to get us in a podcast out there.
podcast. I'm sure in an hour's time, Brian will have completely forgotten that most of these characters ever existed.
What?
Till next week, Smoke Bomb. That's it.
Scarloey?
Smoke Bomb.
Earl?
Yeah. Earl, the mechanic, the animated series himself. Well, that's the mail.
Damn.
Here we are back in the past, future.
Did I say anything to myself? I hope I did. Me, you.
Oh, yeah.
You, me.
You can say something to yourself now.
Right now.
Michael. Go drink some water, please. Thank you.
Good advice.
Would you do it, though?
If I can, probably.
Okay.
If you're in a place with there's no water.
Yeah, if I'm not in the desert.
But you have a podcast listening ability in the desert.
Would your past self tell your now self to drink water?
No, because I have to go pee.
Yeah,
So
okay.
probably not.
Trying to wrap up the episode. Thank you very
Sorry,
much.
Jamie.
This is where like pick a top 10. The next episode, Brian.
Yes.
We have 7 episodes of Superman left, and no more episodes of Batman left at all.
How many episodes of Batman Beyond do we have?
I'm not going to tell you. Lots. The next episode is called Blackout. Which show do you think it is?
Batman.
No, we're out of Batman.
I'm sorry. Batman Beyond.
Yes. I will tell it is Batman Beyond. I will tell you the Superman episodes that remain are very spread out over the course of the first 2 seasons of Batman Beyond.
Why would you tell me that?
Because I don't want to have to make you guess anymore because it's almost always going to be Batman Beyond when I make you guess between the two. So I'm just going to tell you when it's a Superman now for the last 7 Supermans.
Okay,
You
cool.
get a little freedom card there.
Freedom!
Yeah, Blackout, Batman Beyond. What's happening? You know the show so well, you can guess what's going to happen.
Yeah. Blackout. Okay. It's the name has to be some kind of. Oh, so it's either going to be like literal or metaphorical.
Okay.
Sure.
Perhaps both.
Yeah.
What's the options? What do the 2 options mean?
I'd say metaphorical would be Terry sort of like personifying and embodying and becoming the Dark Knight, Blackout. The literal could be like some big bad baddie, like destroying the city bad enough to take out the power from it. If it was like a Superman thing, I'd be like, oh, it's fucking hell.
My favorite villain.
It's fucking hell. Darkseid.
No, what the hell is her name?
I don't know. Livewire.
My brain was like, say Roxy Rocket. I'm like, it's not fucking Roxy Rocket. Stop saying that.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to lean towards the city at risk, like city ending levels of risk.
Okay. I like it.
Okay.
New show guesses are always so nice and crispy to me.
Crispy, crunchy.
Crispy, crunchy.
I have one word to go off of.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Well, it's actually 2. Blackout.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That changes things.
Oh.
Now he's going out to dinner.
If Blackout would be my guess that he's maybe feeling he's not cut out for the job.
Okay.
Like backing out?
Yeah.
Or like batting.
Like
Go
Battus
away,
Mannington.
Well, that's the show, everybody. Please give us a follow or subscribe wherever you may be listening to this. And please leave us a 5-star review on your podcatcher of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. Thank you to everyone who's listed in the description for their musical themes and help in making this podcast as yappy as it can be. Go check out their stuff. And thank you, of course, to you, the listener, for listening.
And also thank you to the Tiptapricot for being here.
Yes,
is there anything you want to plug? Can you tell us about your writings or anything?
Well, I'm not doing anything that would be interesting besides that I write queer fanfic online, but if people want that, I'm Tiptapricot on most places.
Tumblr.
Tumblr, Instagram is Also Tiptapricot, but I mostly just post on my side account, which is Tiptapricot_vibes. That's where you'll get mostly me being active.
Vibes.
And archive of our own. As far as some other stuff, if you like superheroes, you should watch the anime Tiger and Bunny. It's really good.
Oh, I've heard of this.
But don't watch it on Netflix
Probably
for the
from
first
you,
season.
I think.
Probably. I like talking about it because it's popular over in Japan and not over here, and it's really good. But you shouldn't watch it on Netflix for the first season because one of the things is it deals with superheroes with like branding, and they took out all the branding on the costumes when they brought it to Netflix because they're like real life brands.
Sure.
This is like the bee and puppy cat hitting Netflix and being terrible thing.
Yeah, well, it wasn't that
what?
bad.
What?
It wasn't that bad.
I watched that. What's wrong with it?
The YouTube is like the OG. And it's just, I don't know. I think it's probably the like Full Metal Alchemist versus Brotherhood argument where I think they're both fine.
I thought you were saying it's the same show, but they fucked something up. Like you're talking about like
it's
redid it or
they
something.
like redid the show and they dropped a lot to include other things which seem less important.
It's the exact same episodes, but they somehow edited all of the brands off the costumes, so they're just
that's
smooth.
just weird.
It's weird. Also, check out the music artist Jeremy Messersmith. He does some really good stuff. I like his indie music.
I love these plugs for other things.
Where do I?
I don't do much. I want people to like the stuff I like.
Yeah.
It's on Spotify and YouTube and
Say his name
Instagram.
again?
Jeremy
Messersmith.
Messersmith.
Messer.
It's actually spelled pretty phonetically. Mess.
So is Tiptapricot, but I said Tiptapricot.
It's okay.
While.
I mean, people don't notice the apricot in there sometimes, even when it's my profile picture.
Apricot.
Yes. Well, it's like tip tap and then apricot.
I got it.
Yeah.
Did he cover a Oh no,
I
that's
don't
postmodern
know.
sleaze. Never mind.
Okay.
Anyways, those are my main two things. If anyone wants to watch Mortal Kombat, I'll give you a watch order for that too. But that's like a whole paragraph of watch this and then watch this and then watch this, and I don't want to say that. I mean, I do, but I won't.
Well, thank you for coming on here finally. I know it was all our fault that you haven't been on here earlier than this, but because you live
It's
in the
okay.
same town as Brian. But
I would rather it be like easier for you guys. Like I don't want to make it a scheduling nightmare to like get me in here. My manager, I didn't want to work today. It's okay.
I also didn't want you to work today.
Yeah,
I
I
know
have
what it
presents
is, but-
that James forgot that I got him.
Yeah.
So they're presents now.
I'm shocked that it's
There's a
what it
second
is.
thing in there too.
It's Supergirl.
Let me see your Supergirl
action figure. She's
Why
got,
so yellow? Is the plastic
yeah,
like the
it's
clamshell
like-
yellow?
No,
It's older,
it's old.
but also the back is.
Oh,
And
these
then
things I forgot.
Yeah, I
about,
got
too.
those for you at the coast. They're Batman party invitations.
Yes, they are. Thank you. This was. Wait, did you tell me about the Supergirl?
Yeah, I sent you a picture and I said, "Do you want this?" And you said yes.
I did say that. Now she has the spacesuit
Because she totally wears armor for
She
sure.
has a spacesuit that doesn't cover her arms or thighs. Fuck, because space doesn't affect arms or thighs on girls. So that's how it works. Well, thank you, thank you.
And
I
I'm
really
glad.
like this party invitation.
I'm glad to be here. I think it's an interesting. This podcast is interesting because you guys form like a reverse parasocial dynamic with the
We
audience.
say stay away from us.
Well,
Fuck
we're all
off.
like really invested in Banana Man, and we don't know who that
true,
is.
that's
And
true, yeah.
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
It's a lot to balance, but you guys do good.
Banana Man, the Yop Tower. These are the things that like keep me up at night.
You've made a lore. I mean, it's also fun because I feel like I left a review on Apple like a while ago, and then it disappeared.
Okay.
Like a couple of years ago, where I was like, "Yeah, I'll leave a review. It'll be really nice," and then I just ate it. But one of the things I like is that this is almost like a meta podcast too, of like how people were experiencing it in the far gone days of the 1990s, but we're also seeing like how people move through their lives in the current day. Because we get like updates from everybody about like this is what's happening in my life and this is what's happening.
I just
here.
graduated high school, college, whatever. Yeah,
I was just born. Gotta start them out early on the good stuff. Banana baby. We got a baby on the podcast.
Goo Goo Gaga.
Oh my god. Wow.
So I think that's a
Yeah.
really fun aspect of it, even though I know it can be kind of hard to balance logistically wise,
Sure.
but you guys do a great job. So
Well, thanks.
glad to be here.
Thanks, buddy.
I hope you still say that after listening to these podcast episodes because we're changing the mail segment.
That's fine. I write in like every couple of weeks when I
Well, and
remember.
every time that we do a big spiel about like we're so sorry, we're changing the mail again, it's always you to write in and be like, it's fine, we're fine.
You guys, it's
Do
good.
you, yeah.
It's your show. You cannot get to how many like average listeners do you get an episode?
A couple thousand.
Yeah, like you can't
Across
answer
all the
that
stuff, yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you read it, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
You'll go through and you'll be like, yeah.
I do hate it. I do go.
Brian does not. Because he can't. But
I would love to.
I mean,
I would love to be on the Discord. I would love to read the stuff, but I'm just here.
We're here to listen to the show. We're here to occasionally be here on the show. We're here to make you guys enhance the experience. And if it doesn't enhance the experience, then that's fine, man. It's chill.
Thank you for being our Joker psychiatrist. As we sit on the couch.
the moderator.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Next time we'll get you a couch.
Yeah.
I'll just recline the whole time.
That's the podcast. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Leave.
Okay.
Go
Thank
away.
you for listening,
Brian's
listener. Oh, no.
Get
You're
out
here.
of Brian's house,
We're
Brian.
going to drink some tea, but after you pee.
Grow my pee?
Ness.
No.
Hey.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Though the Joker has been notorious for resurfacing when least expected, it seems unlikely that he has survived his latest brush with Batman.
Never again. No more obsession. No more craziness. No more Joker. I finally see that slime for what he is. A murderous, manipulative, irredeemable, angel.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted and edited by yours truly, James Strecker, and co-hosted by yours Briley, Brian Maneely. This podcast is brought to you by the Watchtower Database, your one-stop shop for all things DC Animated Universe. To send us a Yoppie beverage, nab some sick show merch, or support us on Patreon, you can visit the links in today's show notes. And thank you very much. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice and follow us wherever you listen to never miss a new show. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.